I had so much fun with you today. I love you so much.
Oh my gosh, I love you too, babe. I just feel like I don't want to be with someone who has friends.
If that's how you feel right now, then I don't care to be with you either.
Well, how could you say that?
You just said that.
You sat there and you lied to me.
You didn't lie to me?
Because you said you will never go out.
Chelsea, I cannot be with you every hour of the day.
So you hate me. This really makes me question what the fuck I've done.
This conversation? Not when you said you look like Megan Fox. I don't think Megan Fox would be acting like this right now. Are you drunk?
Seriously?
I swear to God, that final look she gives takes me out every time. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another round. I'm your host, Jay. We are back here for episode 12, season 6 of Love is Blind. I am joined with my two guests tonight. I am joined by my sister, my truth, and my girl, as always, El Cid. Hey, ladies, how y'all doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I'm good, and I'm ready. I came dressed for a wedding, so let's see who's getting married.
Oh, I'm glad you're in your wedding best. Okay, I see you. Hey, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're new here, please do us a solid like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, you know, show some love by putting them hearts up in the chat for us real quick. And if you're watching this on a live replay, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about this, that, and the third of them. You know how we get down over here. Y'all know El Cid is about to start. You know, hey, Kay Calloway. She about to get in tonight. And this is my sister's first go, but she be having a lot to say about these shows, child. So she kind of binge watched the whole season, so she'll be caught up with us. So here we are, episode 12. And first thoughts on the episode. That was a cat running by. Don't look crazy. First thoughts, Miller.
I was just waiting for everything to unfold. I'm just honestly tired of seeing Chelsea. She running me ragged. So I'm just waiting for that to blow up so he can go holler at Jessica, because I kind of like her.
Oh, I'm sorry. If y'all not understand, she got a little dark arts in her too. Why you say you want him to be with Jess? Just curious.
I like Jessica. She's straightforward. She's to the point. I think that she will mess. And I just honestly just don't like Chelsea. Like, she whines, she nags, she just complains. She's dramatic. She needs too much attention. She's very needy and high strung. And I'm just not for those type of individuals. You know, once she finished her counseling session or therapy or in-house or whatever recovery thing, then maybe somebody could date her. But until then, we're just going to leave it at that.
Okay. Y'all see it?
I was just excited to see exactly how many people going to make it to the altar. And they didn't disappoint. Some made it all the way. Some made it through the vows. Some, made it to the reception. That's all I was excited to see.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I felt, because it was like, oh wow, this episode was a lot of oh wows up in there. I was glad that Jimmy stood on 10. He stood on business. Okay, I hope he's still standing on business. I was not mad at him, because he was basically, when I watched it back for the second time to take my notes, he was just saying, I don't mind being in a relationship with you, but going to the altar right now, nah. And my thought process on Clay after watching it again, I was like, well, shit, you should have kind of did that too. But at the same time, I was like, well, is production kind of making y'all continue so they can have something by the end? Because we all gonna see one wedding, and we already know that couple gonna get married. Jimmy kind of got out of it a little faster than you did, Clay. So that's all I can say on that. What's your thoughts, Billy? You looking my truth? Why are you making that face?
I'm pondering. I'm gonna get with you in a second. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay.
I got some.
Oh, I got a lot for this episode too, because there was a lot of things I was like, editing. I see what you did there. I'm not mad at it. But it also, I mean, it's also giving me a pause on Mama Dukes, because though I love Clay Mama, I'm going to tell y'all this. Her conversation that looks like it was aired at the end of the wedding, I think was before the wedding. When her and the sister was talking to Clay and she sat there and told him, you need to do what's in your heart. I believe he told her about his decision, indecisiveness about the decision. And that was what led to that conversation. Because there was a lot going down that whole aisle for him. And I know we'll get into it a little bit later because that's going to be the last couple we talk about. But there was a lot going down that aisle. I'll say that much. There's a lot going down that aisle. But anyways, I want to start it off with the light and easy because, listen, well, I thought it was going to be light and easy, but actually, I see my truth got a lot to say about Chelsea. So since they was the first to go in this episode, we're going to go ahead and get them out the way first. Okay. This episode started with them still at the amusement park and, you know, everything was going good up until Jimmy was like, yeah, you know, I can see you be a wifey. I can see you doing these things, that, and the third or whatever. However, I don't see myself going down the aisle. What did he say that for? I don't know, but all I seen was Chelsea start thinking, and it might have been a couple of snap moments and going on in her head. But child, it went downhill from there. Who want to go first on this whole thing? And let me say real quick, shout out to my new member. Thank you, Blondie. Thank you for joining the membership. Appreciate you. Who want to go first on Jimmy?
Well, I was excited and proud of him for saying that because I was wondering when he was going to get some balls because I was outrageous. So when he said that, I was like, I clutched my pearls and I was excited. I was ecstatic. And yeah, her face was just appalled. She just couldn't believe it. Can I curse?
I'll give it about 20 more minutes and then you can be the sailor that you want to be.
Okay.
Belle said she paused herself.
As a reformed sailor, I understand. I think Jimmy knew he didn't want to marry her when he was brushing his teeth. I think he knew that. And I said that in the previous lives. Y'all should check out. That violation of trust, I told you something in confidence and told you not to say it on camera. And then you came on camera. Yeah, we done. And the way he said, no, I'm not going back off of my friendships. Yeah, he was playing around. He was going through the motion. Jimmy said, you know what? I'm going to take the all-inclusive, nobody else at the park but us, because that's my dream trip. I'm going to eat because they barely feed us. And then I'm going to let you go. If you bring it up one more time, I'm going to let you go. And she brought it up. She brought it up. And I was like, nah, buddy. He was done. When he was sawing off that block of ice, that was the block of ice around his heart because it was already froze over from her. It was already froze over.
Sorry, my truth, you got any more to add to it real quick? No, with this face. Hold on. I'm trying to get the actual mark real quick because I wanted to play a couple of things. I know the clip is not going to play, so y'all bear with me. It's just going to be the sound, so it works even better in my favor because I get to play it longer or whatnot. So let me go back to this and let's see.
For you to just sit here and tell me that you're not going, like you're set on not going, right? Am I getting that? You're set on not going.
You said I'm not going.
Why did you propose to me? I feel like you weren't even trying to get married.
You don't think I was trying to get married?
I did not expect this right now. We were just picking our songs for walking into the fucking reception. Are you kidding me? Why did you treat me like you did today? We had the best day today. Why didn't you tell me then? Why did you waste my time coming here? Because you just wanted to do this?
The only opportunity is to tell you when I feel it.
I feel like you've...
Do y'all feel like Jimmy wasted her time?
I don't think he did. I mean, like he said, he wanted to seize that opportunity in that moment. And like, I would have took that free meal. I would have took that opportunity to go to that theme park because that's my thing. And then when I'm ready to share that with you, means once I've, collected all my perks, then I will go ahead and share that with you. Yeah, because that's how I feel. I think he took the opportunity to say it, and he was right on. He could not continue to ignore those red flags that she was having, and I'm glad he stood on business.
I agree. I don't think that he wasted her time. I was hoping he was not going to be a mirror of his dad. His dad seems to just take a whole lot, just grin and bear it for the woman you love. And I was hoping he wouldn't just repeat that. My question, where's Chelsea's family? Where does Chelsea come from? Because all I know about Chelsea is that she drinks a lot. She's got good girlfriends, and she's a flight attendant. Where's Chelsea's family? I think she wasted our time because she did not have the family visit. We have not learned anything about Chelsea and her background, really.
You make a valid point there. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember anything. She just came out of nowhere, and yeah, that's crazy.
And the other crazy thing is how Chelsea always flips every single thing and makes it, well, first of all, she speaks in we all the time. It's a us thing or whatever and stuff. And so like, it's a, you lied to me. You did this to me. Everything is done to me, when he's basically saying you betrayed my trust. As soon as it's you done something, well, you do stuff too. Even in the start of this whole thing, she's like, I had a bad day and we both had a lot of work. I mean, but you did too. It's like, why can't you just take any accountability by yourself for anything? If a person is telling you how they feel, why do you take it, well, you do these things too, or you do this as well, and so it's okay when you do it, but it's not okay when I do it? That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, in this moment, these are the things that are bothering me. But she somehow flips it and sit there and say, well, I can't tell you what's bothering me because you get an attitude. And then as soon as he asks, well, what's wrong? She has nothing. If you guys really notice, she said nothing and she flipped it into something else. She's totally deflected, went on to say that we only had one major argument. You're turning this into something else or whatever. And it was like one major argument. We all was, because Jimmy was like, how you get one? Like, I counted about 6 to 7. You talk about one. It's like, girl, which one? Pick one. Is that what you mean?
Is it the alcohol amnesia? Does she have alcohol amnesia that she can't remember the fights because she's been drinking too much?
She made them all to one. It's one ongoing fight, like it's one ongoing hangover for her. Like, my truth, your face is saying it all. Was
Cause like, I'm just trying to understand everything. No family, alcohol issues, always fighting, always, internalizing everything. Everything's done to her. I'm just really trying to grasp like who she is or what she got going on. Like I'm just trying to understand. Like, she's difficult, like I just remember a point where she was like, okay, well, I see he's pulling away. Let me try to pull him back. I'm sorry. Like, so you're not gonna be kind of there for me? Is like the kind of thing that she does. She pushes you away and then tries to drag you back. And that's I'm just trying to understand her. Like, I'm just really thinking like, who does that?
Clearly Chelsea does this or whatnot. It's just puzzling to me because I'm just like, this whole thing, she became the victim again in the whole situation. And what she is actually doing is placing herself there. And it pushed Jimmy to the point where she was like, well, you don't want to get married or whatever. He's like, nah, I'm good. And she had like nothing else to say after it because you pushed him. He was like, see, this right here is what I'm talking about. This is why you're making me feel like I made the right decision. As soon as he said that, that's when she shut up. She go out, walk off, sit there crying at the thing. And I was like, you're still standing here crying. I personally, I'd be like, take this mic off. I'm ready to go home. Let me go. You're standing there crying because you was hoping for some odd reason Jamie will come over there and save you again. Like, I don't know if she watched Disney movies too much as a kid and fantasized on the princess fairy tales of it all or whatever. But if we're fighting all the time in 2 weeks, ain't no way. In the words of our boy Sean, ain't no way, ain't no way, ain't no way. Because 2 weeks, 7 fights. She want to say 1, but 7 fights in 2 weeks. That's half the time us together we're fighting. Are you serious? Yeah, no. I'm sorry. That's just me personally, but I don't think love is to be fighting you every single day, every minute, fighting for your attention, fighting for your time, fighting you because I'm too clingy, fighting you because you're not home, fighting you because of your friends. If I find something to fight with you about every single day, if there's something wrong with you that I find every single day that that's too much of you that I need to fix and I don't need it, I just need to walk away.
She also has an image issue. Even though they're fighting and having issues, everybody's got to feel like they are a good couple. Jimmy also has an image issue because as soon as, she said, oh, they're the strongest couple, he's like, don't say that. He was hurt by that more than anything else. But it's like they both wanted to look like rainbows and sunshine in front of everybody. But then it is crumbling in the foundation when they're home. Jimmy just was like, I need a breather from everything, not just the horizontal tango.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that's all her issues. She has image issues like you were mentioning, but she's insecure with herself because she always thinks that somebody else looks better than her, somebody else is prettier than her, because everything she angles or she says is geared towards the issues that she have, that she's not pretty enough or she's not good enough or she's not enough. So, that's a large reason why she acts out the way she is, because she feels deficient. And Jimmy tries to comfort her, and no matter, it's something he can't fix in this moment, especially in a short amount of weeks. So I'm glad he let her go.
Real quick, let me give a shout out to Trey Mack. Thank you for joining the membership. Appreciate you, Trey. Glad to see you here, my brother. I have a quick question because somebody in the chat has asked. They were wondering why Jimmy was dumb enough to introduce her to a friend he slept with in the past. Do you think it was dumb or strategic, or he was just trying to be open?
I think he was open. I suffer from the same issues where I can be too honest and too open. So, I'm like, hey, such and such, or this person, that, and that person. And some people are not secure with that. Not have done that because of who she is in that situation. But had he been with a normal person like myself, of course, then he wouldn't have had these issues. Like, you're messing with a highly insecure individual. So if you introduce her to somebody you slept with, it's gonna be World War III, because she feels inadequate, inferior. So he should not have done that. But I don't fault him for being honest. And some people can build and have genuine friendships. Like, that was the past. I deal with that person. It did not work, but this person works as a friend. You know, I don't think you should just throw people away because they don't work in a particular situation or a position that you had them in at once.
I think Jimmy was being very open with her, so she probably would let go of any insecurities that it's just friendship right now. Personally, I wouldn't do it. Personally, I'm like, crossing shows, Ready to Love Maya. I'm not friends with my exes. I'm not going to block you unless you act up, but I'm not friends with you. We're done. Now, if we dated and we did not do any horizontal tango, sure, we could be friendly, but we ain't being friends like that. We ain't chilling, we ain't hanging out, and we ain't texting. Not happening. But that's just, that's just how I am. But I think he just wanted her to be comfortable. He just wanted her to be like, hey, this is the friend. This is the friend I don't want you to talk about on camera, to leave it alone. And she just, it didn't bode well for her.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to make her comfortable in the moment. I'm not sure when she actually told him about her insecurities about having partners in the past that slept with their friends or whatever, but it almost gives that they both were oversharing, because we know she too was still friends with her ex, to the point that she FaceTimed him as soon as she got her phone back. So it could have been a situation of, it's like, oh, well, you're FaceTiming your friends. Well, I too have slept with one of my friends from a past, yada, 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 thinking, because we've seen Chelsea do this thing where she makes it seem like she's okay and comfortable with information so she can extract information from you. And then once she gets that information, she throws it in the face. Just like the AD situation or whatnot, when she is trying to sit there and he told her, oh, AD is stacked. That was a conversation that was supposed to stay between them. But then she opens that door, tells AD, hey, Jimmy thinks you're stacked. Ha, 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 ha. And then later on flips it on him. Like, why would you do that to me? So I said, what now? I didn't do anything to you. I just commented on her. That's all it was. So she tends to do this thing where it's like, give me information. We're cool. It's going to be okay when it gets here. But as soon as it arrives, she's like, oh, no, that makes me feel uncomfortable and I don't like it. So therefore, you shouldn't be friends with these people. Meanwhile, she got the same thing going on in her backyard.
So back to revisit what you said. You think oversharing is a thing in relationship? Like you can't overshare?
What do you mean? And is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is that what you
No,
asked?
like, so I'm under the impression if I'm in a relationship with you, I should be able to talk to you on anything, on any level, about anything. So there should not be a such thing as oversharing. Like you're my partner, you're my significant other. I'm supposed to be able to trust you, with any and everything, knowledge, just my feelings, everything. So at what point is oversharing a thing?
One, the person may need it in doses. Mm-hmm. The person may, some people you can just word vomit, you could just share, through a fire hose. And some people need a garden hose to absorb information. And I think for Chelsea, everything was like drinking out of a fire hydrant. It was just too much for her to right. It was too much for her to handle because she is taking in information, in a straw. Mm-hmm. Out of the bottom of a cup full of alcohol.
And that's what that was going to be my point too. It's just knowing your partner, knowing who you're actually with or whatever, because some people like to pretend that they can handle it. And it's a lot to handle somebody's past and say you're okay with it. It's a lot or whatever, because our insecurities do creep in a lot of times, and stuff that we've dealt with in our past makes us start to put blockers up. Especially when we're in an intimate relationship. It's so weird that we give our friends so much leeway and we don't judge them as harshly. But when we get into an intimate relationship with that person, it seems to change everything, because our ego wants to believe we're the only person that this person knows. We're the only person that this person had or whatever. And when we lie to ourselves like that, we can't handle their truths. So knowing your partner and Jimmy knowing how Chelsea is with that first bit of information with the AD situation, I don't think he should have told her right away. But I also understand why he did, because it's like it was a damned if he do, damned if he don't situation. However, if he don't tell her, it's going to look like he's been lying all this time, and it's going to look worse. So he was in a effed up position because the person he just happened to choose just can't handle truth properly. Hold on, bring up one more guest. Hey, Sean, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine.
Hello.
I can't be
Hi,
held accountable.
Seaway.
I can't be held accountable for who I'm in present company with.
Hey, Seaway and Sean, we got to have you change your name.
It's Seaway
I'm
and Sean
Mr.
today.
Davis.
Here you can see all her beautifulness.
Hold on, not my truth over here talking about hi, Mr. Davis.
It's Mr. Davis and Miss Seaway.
Hello, ma'am. How do you do?
Y'all want to add on to any of this of Chelsea and
What we adding on to? What we talking about?
Chelsea and Jimmy right now?
Did we talk about how Jimmy played in her face? Or did we talk about that yet or no?
We talk about all of it, so talk what you want to talk, Mama.
Jimmy played in her face. Now, I know good and well that Chelsea's an annoying hoe. That lady is very, very frustrating. She done got on everybody's nerve. Not just me, not just y'all, everybody. The whole universe is annoyed with her. But let me say this. As a person, I ain't trying to put my husband out, but as a person who's married to a good guy, a nice guy, let me tell you about these nice guys. They will play in your face, and you're going to have to tell them, stop playing with me. He will tell you this. I'm like, stop playing with me. And he's a bona fide nice guy, bona fide good guy, whatever. They will play in your face. Even Sean right here, I'd say, don't play with me. Don't be obtuse. He got mad at me because I said he's being obtuse. You got to tell them, do not play with me.
Sean, how many
So
great
you think-
sets you had?
You think Jimmy played with Chelsea?
And I'm about to tell you why. Yes, ma'am. Because the only reason why Chelsea knew about old girl with the big back who done mess with him is because she snitched on herself, which launched the conversation about how did she know about your personal business, right? And then that's how Jimmy was like, oh, let me tell you off camera, I did mess with her way back when. Okay. Now Chelsea's like me. She's like, okay, cool. You can still kick it with her or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be mad that you mess with her long as it's in the past. That's fine. But the problem is that Jimmy was doing the most, talking, texting, kicking it out about things like that. That's gonna make any woman uncomfortable, including myself. It's gonna make you uncomfortable.
I can see that.
And the reason why he didn't want to out himself, so he tried to talk about, don't bring it up on camera. Well, sir, the whole reason why I'm upset about why you're out is because you are literally out and about texting a woman who knows your personal business.
They can hear you.
I know. Wait, what you mean?
You're loud.
Oh, I'm loud. I'm sorry. Yeah, who knows your personal business? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be loud. I'm normally not loud. Who knows? I'm gonna break it down. Who knows your personal business? And I feel like he tried to throw that in Chelsea's face, and he was playing in her face. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he was definitely wrong for that because he should not have shared their personal business with her. So she should have never known anything on that level. Friends that or past, whatever the case is, he should not have overshared that information. That's where he overstepped his boundaries because, as like you said, woman to woman, like that's a bit excessive.
But the problem is he had to, because the friends that he brought on the show, one of which was a person who knew him personally. And then not only did she know him personally, she accidentally snitched on herself. So he should have brought somebody on the show who did not know about his situation. So Jimmy is playing in all of our faces, trying to act like he don't know why she upset about this particular thing. I feel like it's easy to overlook what Chelsea is mad about because Chelsea is very annoying and she's very insecure and she's very frustrating. But I feel like nuance is key. She's actually mad for good reason about stuff that Jimmy has done that he's playing in her face about. That's all I'm bringing to, you know.
So I don't think I don't think the problem was about her being mad about the situation. I think the problem was how she handled it. And we think that she handled it incorrectly, which caused them to feud and separate.
I mean, I think she handled it like a very emotional person. I'm not saying she handled it the best, but I feel like when somebody playing in your face, the way Jimmy was playing in her face, he would have got 2 smacks for playing. Because he was legit playing. Because I could tell you, Sid, you, Jay, if your man was kicking it, texting, whoop the bam, that's my Chicago
Been there,
voice,
done
whoop
that.
the bam,
Here's
with a
the
person who within the last 365 days has seen your member, nobody would be happy about that, including myself.
No. Now back up. Here's the caveat and nuance to that. If
What's
I'm
the
playing in
nuance,
your
Jay?
face, if I'm playing in your face and telling you, oh, I'm comfortable with this thing because I had an ex too that I still talk to, yada, yada, yada. I cannot be mad at you 5 minutes later for how you respond with your ex, because I just got through sitting here confirming to you that, oh no, it's cool. None
Well,
of
then
us
she
up
lying
here
then.
is going to sit here
She
and actually
lying then,
say
'cause
that
she
it's
ain't
cool.
cool with that.
I know, but that's on her. So you can't sit here and be talking about who's playing in whose face. She playing in her own face then.
Well, they both playing in everybody's face deal. How about that?
Okay.
Because that's a how about that? Because that's a whole bunch. That's a foolish situation.
No, but that's what I'm
Everybody
saying
playing
though.
in
That if
everybody's
I'm
face.
sitting here, that's the problem. That's why we get on Chelsea about it mostly, because none of us up here is going to sit here and be okay with our man openly telling us he's still in communication with somebody he
Because if
used to
your
dig out.
man and my man, because if your man and my husband, your man sitting here texting some person who's over here kikiing about the
He
size
can't
of their
even text
member,
somebody that I think he's trying to dig out. Like, come on now, no, that's not going to
that's
happen.
not
So that's what I'm
appropriate.
saying.
That's not
Ain't none of,
appropriate.
but that's what I'm saying. Ain't none of us going to sit here and when they say that, make him feel comfortable by saying, "Oh well, I still talk to my ex too." We don't care
So
if we
the
still
point
talk
of the
to our ex. That's not the point. The point is you don't talk to yours.
So can't nobody.
Wow, Jay.
So you can or you cannot talk to your ex.
For me, it's the goose and gander. If it's good enough for me, I've got to allow it to be good enough for you.
Don't be no
I
hypocrite.
cannot tell
It ain't
you
good enough for nobody else. It ain't good enough for nobody. It's a
it
bunch of
ain't good
fools.
enough for
He was
me.
the first person she called when she got her phone back from the
Right.
pods.
All them some fools. This is all some
So
fools.
let me
So
say
then ain't
this.
nobody
Like,
playing
let
in
me say
nobody's
this. I'm
face.
not insecure. I don't have any problem if you're telling me that person is that relationship on that level is in the past and that is strictly a platonic relationship. I don't have an issue with you communicating and being friends with that person. Now, if you're excessive with it, y'all hanging out till wee hours of the morning and you talking to them on a regular and you're sharing our business, then that's when it becomes a problem. Otherwise, if that's your friend, you bring her over, that's our friend. You know what I'm saying? And if she cute enough, that's our friend. And we good.
That's what sounded
No,
like
she ain't
was
coming
doing.
over. She ain't
That's what
coming
sounded
over.
like she
I'm
was
sorry.
doing. I don't mind if you. My best friend is a guy friend, but I don't know what his member looks like. I don't know. I
Right.
don't want to know because I view him as my brother. You know what I mean? But there's other people who I
His
have a more
member?
particular his member for YouTube. You know what I mean? His member, his situation.
Oh, thank,
But there
Pickles.
are some people who I do know what they member look like who have gone to housewarming parties, stuff like that. Because my husband is very secure because he knows I'm not dealing with those people. But I also do go out of my way not to be texting them, doing all this type of other stuff. Like you were like a once a quarter type of link. Like you come up once a quarter. You not finna be on some like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not an insecure person either. Like, I don't have no problem with female friends, whatever. I feel like Jimmy was just out of control with his whole situation. But Jay has a point.
That part
Jay
of your
does have a
case,
point.
that part of your case, Seaway, I definitely agree with the everyday texting, the going out, because unfortunately, this person is somebody that's very close to Jimmy. Very close to Jimmy within the last 2 years. Close. Okay, let's put that out there too, because this is Them both of his friends within last 2 years. But they hang out, they do this. Obviously, they got mutual friends. It also sounds like who she's currently talking to might be one of the mutual friends as well, why he's trying to protect the business so much and stuff. So there's a lot going on with this whole situation. So I agree with the first part of this question. Should he have told her? No, he should not have told her, especially probably not until after wedding day, after some time gone by, after some years gone by. She got to know the girl herself. Hell, I'd have probably took this one to the grave. She had to take it to the grave too. I'm just sorry.
This is a take it to your grave type situation.
Yeah, this really was a take it to your grave type situation.
If you're not messing with the girl no more, you honestly should have just kept that to yourself. But the problem is the girl didn't set that up for that, because you over here kikiing about the size of the person member. You outed yourself on purpose. That's why she the ops. Because if you was really a friend, you would have never outed the fact that you know what's going on with him.
When did that happen? I missed
and that ain't a friend. That ain't a friend that can hold water. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not.
That friend should take it to the grave. No one should even know in the friend group that this happened. I'm sorry. Y'all hitting speed bumps?
If she was kikiing about the piece or whatnot, then she was definitely wrong. I think you should always tell somebody, like, I don't want to be sitting there with my husband and there's a female sitting in front of us that he had passed with, and I don't know. I mean, just for clarity, I would like to know this information.
And you're not no goofy. And he should not make you a goofy. You should know.
Hold on.
When did the friend have a conversation about Jimmy's private parts?
On the meetup. At the table. At the meetup, she almost slipped up and said it. She's like, she was talking
about how has she seen has Chelsea seen his member yet and stuff.
Because it's big.
The girl asked her that?
Yes. She said because it's big.
Oh.
Right, so that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue too. So that's why I said part of the case. I
thought it was Chelsea talking.
Well, no, that was her. That's how we knew before she even said. We said the community said the girl with the big back had been with him. That's what we said.
Here, okay. So let me clear this part. Please. I'm about to put y'all on mute because y'all having a side conversation in the background. Hold on. Here's this part right here. Don't unmute yourself. Here's this part right here, though. Okay. If I'm not having this person around, but we be Jimmy's situation. This is why I say Jimmy's situation, this needed to go to the grave, because you're keeping this person in constant rotation close to you. That's weird because you're always going to have a fight. I don't care if a person try to say they're cool with it or not like that. Deep down inside, you're not totally cool with this person constantly hanging out with your man or your lady who has had an intimate situation with them, regardless if they just a work colleague, a friend, whatever the case may be. That's too much. Now, if they're a person that had a past with your person and they come around, say family functions because they're mutual friends with family, that's a different. I would definitely tell my partner in that situation, because I'm not talking to them every day. I'm not hanging with them every day, but they will be around in passing. So I just want you to be comfortable. And if they happen to say anything like Jimmy's friend or whatever, you already know. I don't like my person not knowing anything, because I'm the type of person, I don't like not knowing anything and somebody come to me from the streets telling me. So that's where I say, but in Jimmy's case, you're choosing to keep this person in your life. So with you choosing to keep this person in your life, I just suggest that it wasn't best to tell Chelsea. I'm not going to say anybody else. I'm not going to say no other partner that he has. But Chelsea, of all people, it was not best to tell her, because she just was not a safe space to start with. And to tell her while we're still on the air, you don't want this on the air, was the wrong mistake. Maybe, like I say again, after we get off the air, we decide what's going on. Let me tell you about this situation. But while we're on the air and I'm trying to keep this person's secrets a secret, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'm sorry, because out of respect for my friend trying to keep this her secret, you might out that like she did several times, even in this conversation.
But it sounds like the friend outed herself when she started talking about his private parts.
At that point, you got to tell. And that's why Seaway was saying it was a no-win situation for him at this point. Because I
don't know what other connections that that Jimmy and that friend has, but by the way she carries on, she clearly does not respect boundaries in his current relationship. So at that point, then whether you just friend her or you just need to take several steps back until y'all can get to some type of understanding. Either you're going to do right or you're going to get gone. Referring to the friend.
That's if he chooses you over the friend, and clearly that's not what his choice was.
No, I mean,
I
no,
know
it's
what you're
not about.
saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But in his case, he's like, I'm not. He told her, I'm not choosing. I'm not stepping back from my friend. When she asked, I want you to step back from my friend, he said no. So that should have been enough for Chelsea right there.
But that I can understand. It's like, it's between a rock and a hard place. I've known you, you know, for a few weeks. I've known this person for some years. You know what I'm saying? Do I throw this person away when I don't really honestly know if you're going to be around? But that's what I said. You can have a conversation with that friend and say, take some steps back. Let me figure this out. If you're a real friend, you'll respect that. And, you know, we can take it from there. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't think this friend has experienced Jimmy in a relationship. So Jimmy doesn't know that this friend will respect a relationship that he's in. You know, I think this is, you know, kind of like last season, where it was a few months ago and then you went on this show. But I don't, the friend hasn't shown that, or Jimmy doesn't notice that the friend is breaking boundaries because he's just oblivious and it's a friend. Unfortunately, Jimmy is just, I don't think he's that observant, or they bleeped it out because I did not see him do a huge reaction with the friend talking about his member.
Or Jimmy was trying to hope for more things to come. And it just didn't work out in his favor because Chelsea is like, nah. I don't know what Jimmy was thinking, but I do feel like a bit of that was sabotage, whether it was on the friend's part, whether it was on the friend, Jimmy telling the friend, just talk normal, be comfortable as you want to, or if Jimmy just himself outed himself, like, hey, you know what, I'm about to introduce you to somebody I used to mess with. They still
I got
in my
a
life.
question on another note. I don't know if it was just me, but I was kind of disappointed that Clark Kent didn't resurface, because I would have liked to see how that played out with AD.
Clark Kent, y'all don't know, it's Matthew.
Matthew, you mean my Matthew?
You chose Matthew.
I loved the play of Matthew. I saw Matthew coming. I saw him coming for Carnage. I knew he was going to be a game player. That's the only reason I say my Matthew. Not for anything else other than I saw he was coming to play and it was going to be epic. And he disappointed in a little way, but not so much. But when he said about Clark Kent and Superman, yeah, I knew he was playing. But yes, I was also disappointed that Matthew didn't pop up. So I'm hoping for the reunion. But considering that America is not on his side, I'm not sure.
Really? America is watching.
Well, I'll tell y'all this much. AD and Amber are good friends. Thanks to Sean, I have visited her page today. Because I usually don't go visit the cast pages for personal reasons, because I just be trying not to get attached to these people. But I seen a post with her and Amber. They was doing the Mooney Long Friend song together and stuff like that. So at least they are bonding. Amber must be doing fine. She got away from Matthew herself too. So there's that. And hopefully he didn't find her. We don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Sean and Seaway, I see y'all in the background. However, y'all look like y'all busy walking into places, in and out places. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all be. Y'all, I'm getting dizzy from y'all walking around. Okay, just looking at y'all in the background. I don't know if they can hear me, but yeah, I'll bring them back up when they get seated somewhere. I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, any final thoughts on these two? Wrong decision, right decision that they made? Think they still gonna give it a shot after this or whatnot, and they gonna come to the reunion telling us that they tried to work it out a little bit, or what y'all think?
right decision, wrong venue. I'm sorry. Love is Blind. You need to put it hard in a contract. No decisions until the altar, please. Because what you're not going to do is let Chelsea go cry privately, at the roller coaster, yet AD is in front of friends and family. That's what you're not going to do. I'm sorry. Chelsea should have been in front of her friends and maybe one family and do it that way. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. My truth.
I'm torn. Who pays for these weddings?
Production, we assume.
Okay, production pays for it. Then yeah, we'll write it out. If I'm paying for it, no, I need, or we need to know ASAP. I need some deposits back.
Facts. Let me bring Sean and Seaway back up. Any final thoughts on Chelsea and Jimmy before we shift this conversation?
It's kind of loud in here.
It's okay. We can
Can
hear
you hear me? Yeah. Well, listen, I'm of the belief that Jimmy did the right thing by her, and at least he spared her by not dragging her to the altar. That's my little 2 cents.
Elsie said, bring her to the altar and toss her off the side, baby.
You wanted her to be fully dragged?
Daggone right. We are talking about equality here. Why do you get to run off and nobody else sees you cry except the camera crew? I'm sorry. You will be in your white dress and running away. That's exactly what Chelsea deserves.
You want to hear all that whining and screaming and
yes.
Why did you do that? Oh,
well, we heard it anyway, Sean.
I'm
to be honest, Sean, anyway, we heard it either way, though. We would have just heard it at the altar.
Uh-oh, look who's back.
Yeah, I wanted her in her full regalia in front of everyone being told no. I'm sorry. That's just me.
What's that thing?
She wanted her to get to the altar. Oh. I said, thank God Jimmy didn't drag her to the altar, but Sid wanted her at the altar.
Y'all off.
I thought I was still on mute, Jay.
No.
I had to debrief her because just pray for us, everyone.
This gonna be like us being at Seaway joined it live with Coach O. This was yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Elsie, because listen, they putting their time, money, and production up into this here situation. And the promise is to have at least we've been consistently having at least 3 couples at the end, whether they make it or not. So I agree. We already lost 2 out of the 5 that we had. We shouldn't have allowed this one to go off at the end. Jimmy was like, yeah, I'm not about to waste my parents' time getting dressed and driving down here and messing with y'all folks. But it could have been one of them situations that his parents don't even show up and he got to the altar and just be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna let you know now. I know we got all the way here. My parents ain't even show up, so that should let you know what's about to happen. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. But if production is also playing with it, my truth, there's some of their thing too. They like, well, we ain't gonna put our money into producing a whole wedding just for you to say no. If you really strong on this no, it's a no. That's the difference between Clay and Jimmy in this moment, though, because Clay seemed like he wasn't sure about what he was actually going to do until last minute. But Jimmy was like, yeah, no, we're good. I'm good. We're done. I ain't about to choose you over my friend. Goodbye. So, yeah. Anyways, good for them. We'll see what happens at the reunion. I also do got some reunion looks too.
Mm-hmm. So, you think Clay Mama knew that he was gonna say no? Yeah,
we're gonna get there. We ain't talking about them. We're going to get there. We gonna get there. We about to get Johnny. We about to get Johnny and Amy out the way real quick because they the only unproblematic couple that we had all season. Okay, they didn't really have no problems. You can make that face, LC, but they really didn't have no problems. Okay, condoms or no condoms, that's really not a problem. I know they jumping bombs. I'm like AD, like somebody getting something. All right, somebody getting something. As what's my little Karen want to say, suggest Sarah Ann was doing. Somebody's getting some. There's ways to do some things without making a baby. So ain't no way. But they was the least problematic couple, which is Amy and Johnny. And don't let Jimmy hear me say it, but they was the strongest couple of the season, okay? Jimmy gonna kill me. But I don't know. What did you guys think about these two and their wedding day?
Why do you say strongest couple? Because it sounded like...
That's because Jimmy and them didn't like saying strongest couple. That's why I just said it.
It sounded like the mamas who were saying we were married for 20 some odd years, yet the daddy cheating. I'm sorry. While they are the Cinderella couple, they are the ones, the fairy tale ending, there are massive problems, catacombs with Jimmy and Amy. The way she said he is terrified of having children, she used the word terrified. I mean, we don't know how he will behave if there's an accident, if there's an unplanned pregnancy. We have no idea how Johnny is going to behave. And that for me is really, really an issue. Why are finances so big with him? He is so hard on finances, which it screams to me of, and they did say we grew up, not having a lot, but his parents seem like salt of the earth people. There's a lot of things there, but one thing I do like with both families was they really came together. When her dad said, I have just gained a son, not only that, I have gained additional daughters, that was truly touching. That was really, really out there. But their wedding was lovely. I will say that the most touching part for my cold heart was when Amy hugged her brother and they had the forehead touch right before she was walking down the aisle. That was the most moving moment for me because I also have a family member with special needs. So they do have issues. They do have problems. But it's not as glaring as the other couples.
Everybody has issues and has problems. Elle said they're the least problematic, again, as I say. They problems really wasn't problems, all right? And on top of it, when you listen back to how Johnny described how they engaged in the pods, they were having actual conversations about futuristic stuff, scenarios, events, money. If persons lost their job, how would it look? All these types of things. When I say they're the least problematic and the most strongest couple, is because they were actually forging a real bond outside of looks with one another. They were having the actual conversations that the pod is designed to have. As many seasons we've gone through, we haven't not heard as many people or any couple really talk about, say, oh, we were creating scenarios. If you lose your job, how would it look like? If we were to have a kid too soon, what would miscarriage or something like this, or having an terminating a life be, or whatever. They were having all these scenarios play out and seeing how they go. He said they talk religion, they talk finances and stuff. Yes, there are fears that he does have because of his childhood. There are fears that he does have regarding finances because of his childhood, regarding kids being brought into a situation too soon. We all suffer with those things, but in order for us to move forward and grow, we do have to talk about and acknowledge where we are in life on some of these things. And I'm glad that these two people were actually doing the work that is required in a short amount of time to get married. They were actually sitting down and not sitting there wasting their time on, oh, let's jump into in and out the bed all the time, because they did make a conscious choice with each other not to go there until they figure out that situation, which, you know, part of us still don't believe they didn't some way, somehow. But they weren't all over each other outside of kissing all the daggone time. I guess, you know, as you put it last week, that's all they got to look forward to. So, but when we started, sometimes when we actually do take the X out of stuff, we can actually have like meaningful conversations, really find out how much of a friendship that we're building with one another prior to everything. And if we really like each other, not like the physical aspects of each other, but actually like each other or whatnot. And listen, even though everybody, and I'm gonna bring up Clay in this situation, get on Clay for saying, oh, looks fade and stuff. That's the truth. Looks do fade. Things can happen. People get old. And when a lot of times when you do get in the old stage, the physical, and I'm not saying all the time because I worked in retired homes and things went down up in there, okay? But a lot of times, physical is one of those things that tend to go first. We stop being as physical, intimate, in juvenile ways, but we start being intimate in other ways where we spend quality time with one another. We lay up under each other. We have conversations. We just like to feel the presence of that other person there. So there, in my eyes, are forging what can last. On top of it, I'm family oriented. I love people that have family oriented spirits. Both families have that, which was wonderful. Both families came in accepting. I like what Amy did by bringing one of the sisters as part of her bridesmaid, and then the other sister was on the groom's party and stuff. So they walked down the aisle together. They made sure that they included their siblings. Even the sister's fiance did the consummating of the marriage. Is that the right word? Consummated? What they call it? No, that's not consummated.
Consummated means doing it.
Yeah. Yes, my bad. That's on my mind right now because they not doing it.
The marriage.
Well, he's consummating. He's supposed to be consummating his own because he's a fiance, but he ordained that's what it is. He ordained the marriage or whatever. So it's like, I really like how they came together, and two people whose parents are still married to this day. That's a healthy foundation. You know, I'm pretty sure they all went through their ups and downs through their marriage, but the fact that they both of their parents are still married to this day, that's a very, very healthy foundation to come from. So it gives them a better light and opinion about marriage as a whole. Officiated. Thank you, nosy nurse. Okay. It's something. Listen, all these words bring unity in different ways. That's all I'm saying. Nobody else got nothing to say?
My truths. I was waiting on you.
Well, I don't know if I want, because you started off one place and then you ended off one place. So, you know, I'm waiting to get in on Clay and AD. So, you know, but I mean, you know, they did, the other ones had valuable conversations, what things would look like, and which brings me to Clay and AD. I've been waiting on that.
We not there. We gonna get there. We almost there, girl. No worries. We almost there.
Careful, my truths. The channel tell you you're trying to control Jay's channel.
Well, I mean, she mentioned his name, so then I thought that's like, you know, like when you play spades or something, once you break that suit, it's like fair game. But okay. I'll wait. She reneged.
Is it related to Amy and Johnny?
Yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, yes. About the real conversations. So like you said, Amy and Johnny had real conversations. They had real conversations. And it looks like they did not have real conversation because after the fact, they're sitting there and they're discussing, well, we didn't talk about this. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. You know, like there were no real conversations taking place. There were no in-depth background information. Like everything seemed superficial, shallow, on the top. So, but we're gonna get to that.
No, good points. That's what, exactly. Sean Seaway, you there? Y'all got anything?
We here. Who are y'all talking about?
Amy and Johnny.
Oh, Amy and Johnny. What you got to say about Amy and Johnny?
Wish them the best of luck.
You heard her?
Yep, we heard her.
That's all I got.
Listen, we had somebody to root for, so I'm happy for them. I really like
He
them.
looks happy. They look happy.
Yeah, they both look happy. They
I don't
have
like his hair, but they look happy.
okay.
Lucky for you, you're not marrying him. So
Right. So it all worked out, right? So
yep.
Yeah, I really do like them as a couple though. And she got rid of that stuff about her eyeballs that was driving me crazy for the wedding day. So that really
And
made me
lucky for
excited.
you, you're not marrying her.
right.
I'm just I
So we
I
all
thought
win. So
I thought
Sean,
she looked really,
Sean,
really pretty.
Kojo got cooked for talking about women's makeup today. Careful.
All I didn't say anything too specific. I said she just got rid of the thing about her eyeballs and it looked really nice. That's all.
Jay, you look so pretty today.
What you been drinking?
No,
Yes.
I thought Ben said that. I said that earlier.
No, you go, Jay. You so pretty today.
She's had another round. She's about to
And
have
another
another
round.
round.
And another round.
I tried to stop her from ordering a drink where we are, but
Nah, you
Thank you, Seaway. Thank you.
I was like, oh, look at Jay.
Sean, you are not Seaway's leader. You're not her leader.
He's my legal guardian today.
listen, I am a guardian, a temporary ad litem.
We waiting for our Dallas BBQs right now. So
Elsa knows about
this is
BBQs.
my happy place when I come to New York. Ain't too much things make me happy when I come to this
I
place.
don't
But this
care.
place makes me happy.
When she comes here,
It's not
always
seeing
BBQs.
Sean. It's not seeing Sean your happy place.
Exactly. No, it's BBQs.
No, seeing Sean makes me happy. Him and his bougie car. I be driving in luxury. I like that.
Okay, we're done. What you say, Jay? I can't hear you. You muted.
Jay.
You muted, JJ.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's happening right now. Okay, that's what I'm happy. That's what's happening
Yeah,
right now.
but
You're naturally beautiful. That's what's happening, Jay. Get over it.
but back to Johnny and Amy. You know, we needed somebody to root for, and they're that.
Barely though, Sean. Let's be for real. Nobody cares about them.
All right, we're done. We're done. Sorry, Jay.
You would think that Steve came from a broken home. The way she, damn it, Steve. Thank you. Tell them cheers and beers, peace. Cause child, what the hell? All right. Anyways, last thought on Amy and John. Listen. Before I go to Amy and Johnny, Charles L said, not his parents being Jim and Joe. I mean Jim and Joy, and the grandpa named Joe. I was like, I love my J's, but damn it, damn it. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do all these damn J's. Okay, not the Jim, the Joe, and the Joy, and then the Papa.
What'd you
Joe.
ask? What'd you ask, Jay?
I didn't ask anything.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Then what you just said about all them J's? I can't hear you.
I said their
Just
parents'
I
mute
can't
us.
name.
hear you
Mute
either.
us, Jay. Mute us, please.
Jay, do people be hating on you because you so cute?
Okay.
Yeah, all the time. Thank you for asking, but that is something that I deal with on a regular basis. I
Don't
just
give
can't
me.
help
Thank you.
being.
Thank you,
Excuse
sister.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Finish telling them how these people be hating on you because of natural beauty. Go ahead.
I can't hear you, Jay.
I said finish telling them how they be
I
hating
can
on
hear
you.
her, but I couldn't hear you.
You can't hear me right now? Yeah, can the chat hear me? Okay,
Sid, say something.
They can't hear you because you muted me for no reason. That's why.
No.
Sid, can you say something so I can see if I can hear you?
Sid can hear me.
Sid, can you say
Sean, you
something?
can hear me. Everybody else can hear me but you. It must be your headphones, sis. That's weird. That's weird. It's your headphone. Sid, see if she can hear you if you tell her it's her headphone. I want to see something. Because she just
Can
put her
you hear
headphones
me? Hello? Nope, she can't hear me either. She may need to go out and come back in.
Yeah. Let me text her and tell her that. But thank you again, Seaway.
You ain't thanking me for real.
I really ain't.
You ain't right. What are we talking about?
Sean, control your guest.
Can you hear me,
Sean,
Jay?
control
Because I
your
can
guest.
hear
No, I'm
Sean
good. What
and
we
them,
talking?
but I can't hear
Sid, I'm
you
under
or
control for
Sid.
once. What are we talking about?
We were talking about Amy.
We're gonna eat.
Okay.
And
We were talking
Seaway's
about.
gonna get some food in her system. Sorry.
All right. Thank you for feeling our friend up so she don't be intoxicated out here. We like to drink responsibly on another round. So please, if you guys need to take a break to get you something to eat because you've been drinking too much over here, please feel free to do so as we bring. Can you hear us now?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you, and thank you for asking.
You're
Reporting
welcome.
live from my job.
All right. There we are. We back. All right, now we are finally getting to the couple that everybody wants to talk about, okay? Everybody wants to talk about it here real quick. Let me go ahead and just play this. We're going to get it started real quick.
All of those emotions and twisted feelings, he took that to the altar. And a lot of that stems from things that you have to explain and then apologize. Don't make excuses, just apologize so that closure can be had. But the marriage thing, the commitment, he struggles with that. He's like, I know you stayed, Mom, but there's things that I saw that I should not have saw or been in a position, and kids, when they grow up and they see things, it's like, is marriage for real? Or is marriage something that you get into and you lie and you deceive? And he took a lot of that to the altar with his decision. Here's the thing too, Rita.
Okay, I had to pause it there because I'm the dad trying to work up the tears. The dad trying to work up the tears is about to send me, okay? I'm like, Daddy, cut it out. Rita is over you, okay? Rita done had enough, okay? Sir, just hear the mama out. Let that resonate with you. Go apologize to your son. Make that start. Get the therapy. Clay, let's start off with his mama. Okay, because that's my MVP. Hear me out, because I'm gonna go in on her a little bit later just because of production. But overall, I think she was my MVP of all the parents here, especially this episode. Amy's dad was given a close second on all his lovey speeches, but this mom right here stood in every bit of truth, whether it was hurting her or not, for her son. I am not mad at her in this moment for checking the daddy and putting him in his place and letting him understand you was not the best father that you thought you was to your son, and today is technically your fault. I don't know if y'all seen it that way, but that's how I got that. Who want to jump in here?
I think the day was, I agree with you somewhat, but I think it was both of their fault. Clay watched both of them. Clay watched Daddy step out run track, running all over town. Papa was a Rolling Stone. And he watched his mother sit and endure for 20 some odd years. So he watched both of them. And while I think Mama has definitely, she's the MVP, definitely she has gotten, to a certain point. She's gotten more, I guess, accountable and healed about what has happened. She's aware of how it's affected her children. Daddy ain't there. Daddy's still a frat guy running around trying to hook Mama back like, hey girl, with the crocodile tears to try and reel her in. His smile didn't reel her in. The little talk didn't reel her in. So I'm going to cry because I know she's motherly and she's going to want to bring it in and help me. Sorry. Daddy did not help the situation with his comments. He didn't help it with his presence. I agree he should have been there, but what he talked about didn't help that young man, get where he needs to go. Again, the father couldn't even say there and say, yes, I need to talk to my son and apologize. I need to talk and say, I'm sorry I put him in a certain position as a child and I was his parent and I did not protect him. Daddy couldn't say that. Daddy couldn't even get a teardrop out his eye. I was expecting one of those moments with the guy with eye drops, putting it in his eyes to try and fake some tears. But Daddy, he didn't. He's not in a healed position. But I do agree with Mama. He needs to talk to his son. He needs to. Clay was carrying the baggage of his parents. But at some point, Clay is grown. He should not be discovering all this baggage on Love is Blind. AD doesn't have to be his therapist. He could have been doing this work, I'm sorry, ahead of time. Clay wasn't ready for this. The fact that he was like, do we have to get married? That's the point of the show. We're getting married at the end. We're going to be at the altar at the end. I mean, come on, Clay. At some point, it is bags I'm carrying from my dad, but I'm also carrying my own bags. And I need to figure out to drop stuff. Most people are being very understanding with Clay, with his dad and what he's been through. But I came with the heat for Clay. I'm sorry. I'm one of those. I ain't with the nice understanding part of it.
So, starting from, that conversation you just played and the father attempting to have a heartfelt moment and the mom acknowledging that it wasn't going to come because he's making this decision. She's like, okay. All right. Come on. What you got to say? All right. And I think that it took Clay up until this moment for him to realize how far up shit creek he was without a paddle. So, like he didn't know that he knows like there was probably issues or something, but he didn't like realize the severity and the depth of it till he got into this moment, till he felt like he was up against that wall and he had to make a decision. Is when he realized what was actually taking place and what was at stake, the value of what the institution of marriage was for him. Despite the example that his father set, and then tried to blame on not having a father, just continuing that spiraling cycle of my parents did it, my parents did it, my parents did it, and we're gonna be broke for the rest of our life because my parents was broke. Just continuing that constant cycle. So when the father decides to acknowledge what's taking place and be able to actually have a heartfelt conversation and apologize like the mom suggested, don't look for excuses, just straight to the meat and potatoes, say this is what take place. I take full responsibility for that situation and I see how it has affected you, and take that baggage off of Clay's back so Clay can proceed, because I can tell Clay is at heart a great dude. He got demons that he's fighting.
That point you made right there, this is why I have that grace for Clay, because a lot of times we don't know what we can handle until we get ourselves into situations. We don't know what we're dealing with until we get ourselves into situations. And a lot of times we like to be like, oh, you should be self-aware. You should be all this other stuff. They're 20-something years old. I'm not looking for them to be fully self-aware, because half of them don't even know what self-awareness is. The fact that he's even aware to realize that he possibly has traits of his father. He has not had good role models as far as males are concerned in his life. That he does actually want to help. That he does want a long-term relationship, but just afraid to go and get it and stuff. I have a lot of grace for it, because the fact that he is willing to work on himself through a lot of this, and it sucks. I'm sorry, it does suck that AD has to be that person on national TV, but however, somebody is going to be that person that he learns himself from, that he learns what he's into and not into from. And I give him a lot of respect, even though we would like to say we wish he didn't go all the way to the altar with it or whatever, but the show is also designed for these people to go to the altar and make their decision. So we can't sit on one side and say, hey, they shouldn't go to the altar, or they shouldn't wait till they go to the altar, and then on the other side say, well, we need these couples to make it to the altar. Go ahead.
Well, I go back and forth on that, because at one point I felt like he knew this, and then at one point I felt like he didn't know until he was in that moment. So I go back and forth on deciphering when exactly it was that he knew that he couldn't do it. Because I mean, like, I've been places and I'm there. I got up there to jump out that plane. I got in that plane. I'm strapped to that person's chest, and they said, we getting ready to go. And I said, But I done took the training. I done got dressed. I done put the thing on. I got in the plane. I rode the plane all the way up. I'm strapped to this person's chest. We get to the door and they say, you ready? And I say, So, I don't know when it was, or when that moment was where he realized.
That's where I'm going to get to. I think personally, he's been dropping little breadcrumbs of saying, I'm not sure. And it's not really the marriage part. It's the date. It's the speed up of the whole thing. And I get it. Why join a show that tells you in about 2 to 4 weeks that you're going to get married? I get that. However, it's also, when I'm joining the show, I'm not really thinking I'm going to get picked. I'm not thinking this is going to happen. When I get into the pods, there might not be nobody for me, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? There's all these things. We just do stuff impulsively sometimes. And then when we get into it, it's like, oh, dang. Like I say, now, like you said earlier, you up Schick's Creek without a paddle. So we're in it. It's just the same thing with you jumping out the plane. Oh, yeah, this is fun. This looks fun. Let me sign up for it. You do all the stuff for it. And then you get there and say, oh, no, hell no, this is a lot. This is life or death right now for me. And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes that happens in life and stuff. And no, I can't sit here and just be all mad, because technically he did not cheat on her. He did not abuse her in a physical way or whatever. He was honest about his feelings going a lot of times all the way through or whatnot. So I can't really say he was deceiving her or whatnot. What he was asking for, which we know, is that he's not a leader in a relationship. He was asking for her lead on a lot of things, which some people could say that's not the man for you, or that shouldn't be the man or whatever and stuff like that in a relationship. But that's not a man for a person that wants a person to lead. But if they don't mind leading their man, that might be your man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind dictating how the relationship goes, that might be your guy. So he's asking for things that she can't provide, and she's looking for things that he can't provide. And he did her a favor at the end of the day, regardless if it was late or not. And I know it feels some type of way, but from a person who's actually had to end a relationship that wasn't a bad relationship, it just wasn't going in the direction that I wanted it to go to at that time, it hurts. Because as AD, I'll let you come in after I say this point, but as AD side, and I'm like on both sides, because as AD side, I'm pouring into this person. I'm giving my all to this person. And it does feel like I'm not good enough. because they're not giving me what I want back. But I have to sit back, and I had to sit back and understand that even though I was pouring into this person, I was giving them my all or whatever and stuff, they were an empty well with holes in it that weren't able to be filled by me, because those holes wasn't made by me. They had to fill those holes with whatever they needed. God, the mended relationships that they needed to mend those relationships with, whatever they needed, I could not, never, and will never provide to fill those holes. That was something that they had to work on. And I had to release those people so they can do the work for themselves, not for me.
So I believe that they had the necessary, they had what it took to be successful. I didn't see any like red flags, or it wasn't a Chelsea and Jimmy situation. I think that their personalities meshed, and I said that to say that I believe that people can grow in love and all those things if they are committed to making it work. So if he would have been like, you know what, I want this marriage and I'm gonna do what it takes to make this marriage survive, I think they would have survived. I think that because marriage is a leap of faith. Your marriage is a commitment to getting to know that person for the rest of your life. Like, do you actually really know somebody before you get married? A lot of the times, I'm going to say 85% of the time, you don't. Mm-hmm. So I think that they could, if they would have said yes, I think that they probably could and would have been all right. You don't think so? Okay, give it to me. Give it to me. Raw dog, don't bail.
Okay, Clay kept talking about all AD did for him. She's pouring into me. She's making me better. I didn't hear a lot of what Clay was pouring into her. How was he uplifting her? How was he pouring into her? What was he doing to help make her feel she was enough? She wasn't just enough. She was a hell of a lot. She is a hell of a lot. So all I kept hearing from Clay was the selfish, and I hate to say it, like the terrible twos toddler, me. This is what she's doing for me. This is how she's making me better. This is how she will fight, even to the last bachelor party. She will fight for me. And I'm like, dude, I have not heard you say she is beautiful. She is great. You haven't even heard she will make a wonderful mother. You did not hear him uplifting her. I did not hear him say the parts of her that were compassionate, the parts of her that were observant. She was selfless. I did not hear him talk life into her. I always said, this is how she is filling my cup, never how he's filling hers or how he could fill her cup.
Did she share at any point how he filled her cup?
She always used to say what I heard was
she shared it at the end in her confessional when she first got there for the wedding. She shared it
at the end.
She shared it. That's when they asked him and stuff. That's when she shared it. You have to understand, we're watching edited versions of stuff. They're going to edit it the way that they want to and stuff. So of course, if they have a mama's boy who's going to look like he's an empty cup that needs filling, that's what they're going to produce or whatnot. You have a healer who thinks that she can just pour into anybody and they're going to be saved. That's what they're going to produce. But she did at the end sit there and say that he makes her feel like she can be herself, that she is seen, that he, what else did she write? Because I had wrote it down, that she makes him feel safe. He is a provider, protector, that she can be herself around him. Where is that part? So there was things that he was doing back for her that she felt. So there's stuff. But yes, like you were saying, Elle said, I'm agree with you on this point. He is going to always say me what she's doing for me because he's, again, an empty well with a hole in it. He's always going to need people pouring into him. He is a mama's boy to a degree. He is still looking for validation from his father, even in this moment. He was still looking for validation from his father. And I'm not trying to cape for this man right now, but there is a lot that is going on that he actually has to work through in therapy with. There's a lot of processing he has to get through, and realization that things that your dad did, right or wrong, weren't the best for your future. The things that your mother did, right or wrong, weren't the best for your future. But also, those things are not your future. Those are their past. You got to let their past go and go live for yourself or whatnot. And there's on the other side, there's AD's side is, as much as you want to pour yourself into other people, what you did, and I seen this meme earlier that said a healer has to date protectors. What you have to do is have discernment, that you need to pray to God that you find the person that you're supposed to heal. Because she said some things at the very end when she said, I feel like I sacrificed myself for you or whatever and stuff. It's like, I did all of this for you, but maybe, baby girl, God put you in that position for him to answer his prayers at that moment. But at the same time, sweetie, you have to still pray for your prayers, which is, I need a man who protects me emotionally, fills me back up when I'm out here saving the world and doing the Lord's work for everybody else or whatnot, and also loves me the way that I want to be loved. There's a lot of things that she has to do, and as far as self-loving herself, and stop looking for her daddy in men, because that's what she's trying to do in situations of fixing people, is build her relationship that she had broken with her father. And we tend to do this sometimes when we don't have proper relationships with one of our parent figures. We try to find it in people, and they can't fill that cup. So she's also an empty well trying to pour into other people when she needs to be poured in herself. So as much as we want to hate on Clay about some of his situations, because yes, he was over here, oh, I don't want to cheat like my daddy, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. He's putting all his stuff on there. AD has problems that she hasn't recognized to even put on the table too. To sit there and say, why was I even trying to help Matthew? Save Matthew in the pods?
Early on, she did admit it, like in earlier episodes, she did admit, like, oh, I was always that girl that was going to be there and say yes, and I'm going to always help him. If I saw a red flag, I'm going to paint my nails to match. Like, she admitted she had issues, and she was just a yes person.
Mm-hmm.
How bad does it sound right now? Can y'all hear me? You know, Jay, to your point, I think, and this is your channel right now, Kodo, so we can be for real. As a woman, you need to seriously pick a man that loves you a little bit more than you love him. And there's a reason for that, Sean. There's a reason for that. Look at what AD did. And look at what Jay said about what Clay was saying. Everything that he was saying, it was almost like we were in Iraq. Everything was a battlefield of war. She's going to war for me. She's doing this and that. We've been fighting through whatever. At no point, to Jay's point, did he ever say what he was fighting for her for. And guess what? You see how that ended up? She was crying and he was at ease. I'm not saying that Clay was happy about, I don't think he was happy about making her sad. But he was at ease about the fact that he was finally able to walk away from this situation. And that's just the truth of the matter. I'm not saying that Clay couldn't get to the point where he loved her more, but he was never going to get to that point where AD was making everything so easy for him. And that was, as Jay mentioned earlier, due to all of her insecurities, her lack of a father figure, this and that. And I found that to be really sad, because when Clay said, okay, body, when she walked up on that wedding, I said, it's done. I looked at my husband, I said, it's done. He said it's done too. We both knew it's done. When a man is looking at you and he says, okay, body, when you're walking up to get married, everything is there's nothing more to be done. Because he's not viewing you the way he should view a wife, somebody that he's coveting, somebody that he's protecting, someone that he's going to war for. And honestly, the more I saw of his dad, the more I felt bad for Clay. because that man did not have a running start on how to be a husband. That dad, y'all peep this, and I'm a sports girly. Jay will tell you, Jay's a sports girly. On the day of the wedding, you're talking about your hoop dreams. Not even your son's hoop dreams. Your hoop dreams, you old bastard. Your hoop dreams. Not even your son's hoop dreams. Like, what type of an example have you set for your son? How is he supposed to have any type of guidance on how to be a husband, how to love, how to do anything? He has none of that. I think the problem is that, and I see a lot of stuff on the internet, it's not about her color, her skin. Clay was not moved by AD's face. He was not moved by her ability to move him forward financially, status-wise. And he wasn't moved. So the combination of him not being obsessed with her face card and the fact that I don't think he felt like she was financially where he wanted to move forward, because Peep, you got to be able to listen. He said, I wasn't sure of her finances. He said that for a reason. He felt like he was going to have to drag AD along. He didn't want to do that. AD was not who he wanted to be with. And instead of saying that, because he did have love for her, he took her to the point that he took her to. So the moral to the story is, because you can't fix AD, you can't fix Clay. If a man is not obsessed with you, and you're going to know when he's obsessed with you, if he's not calling you beautiful at your core, not just talking about your body, talk about your booty, talk about your hips. If he ain't talking about how you will be as a mother, as a position in your life, you need to move on. Because I do believe that Clay will be a good husband, but it won't be for right now, and it won't be for AD. So we gotta peep. I'm not trying to speak down on nobody. I'm not trying to speak down on Clay, but that dad of Clay really set him back, and he really gonna have to do some praying and have to do some meditating on how he can be a better person. Go ahead, Jay.
They'll say you was about to say something before I go.
Yeah, the grace I give Clay is that he did not marry her and drag her through a marriage. And he said that at the end, you wouldn't want me to marry you and do this half-assed. That's the only grace I give him, that he did not put her through a marriage and then not do what he's supposed to do. That's about all the grace I have for him.
So going back to whatever little bit of grace I have left for him, because yes, we can sit here and say he's done a number of things wrong. He stood in his truth, though. I can give him that. He stood in his truth. I'll say he was unsure. I'm not sure. I can't say. Only God can say, only Clay and God can actually say when he made his full decision. I do think he made that decision sometime that day by the conversations that a lot of his parents had. The mom had a conversation with him just before, I believe, I know they put it afterwards, but I believe it was before they walked down that aisle. And she told him, you make the decision for yourself. If she told him exactly what he kept saying back to AD, I don't feel 100% sure. The mom told him, if you don't feel 100% sure, do what you need to do for yourself. That's a weird spot to put that at the end of him already telling this girl that he don't feel 100% sure and not do it. So I believe that mom had that conversation before. That's why I said, even though she's my MVP, she has to be accountable for the fact that he did not make this decision, because what she told him, and I'm not mad at what she told him, because listen, it's his decision. I'm okay with any decision that you're going to make this today. That let him be okay with any decision he was going to make. Had his mom say, you need to go through with it, he would have went through it. He's a mama's boy, point blank, period. I agree. He should not have let this girl suffer through a whole marriage, knowing that he's not 100% in it. If he need more time, he need more time. I know we signed up for this program or whatever and stuff like that, but had you had me on this show, it'd probably be the same outcome, because I got the same fears. Like, are you actually my person? Not the fact that I'm gonna cheat on you, but are you really my ride or die? And I know we don't like to say that all the time, but are you going to fight with me for us or fight against me? If you're going to fight against me every single day, or every time I wake up and you don't like something I'm doing or whatever, that's going to be a fight. I don't want you. But if you're going to fight with me, then I'm here for you all day, every day. And sometimes that's hard to recognize when I don't know what it is. And Clay don't know what that is. The daddy, I say this all the time, we don't get a manual when we leave the hospital with our kids. We don't know what we're doing. All we're doing is learning off of what our parents did, what we didn't like from our parents, and what we did like from our parents. I'm going to say this directly to Clay. You don't like the fact your daddy made your mother feel a certain type of way. Good, you recognize it. Don't do it. Point blank, period. Don't do it. Because if you don't want to cheat, you don't have to cheat. It is not something that is a disease within you that you cannot control from spreading all through. You can actually stop yourself from doing it. You can put yourself out of situations that keep yourself out of situations and make sure that you don't do it. You can like anything that you sit here and be like, oh, nope, this might be a cheating incident. Turn your car around, go the other direction. It is that real. You already recognize what that part of the problem is. Secondly, go get the therapy, not just with yourself, but also with your dad and then with your mom. Have a whole family therapy session. Like seriously, your dad definitely needs to go. And here's the thing why I made that point, that we don't have a manual when we come out the hospital with our children. Dad, you did good by spending the time with your child that your dad didn't give you. But the quality time that you spent with your child still damaged your child. Take accountability for that part. Like the mom said, don't make no excuses. Go apologize. You, of course, didn't have a dad. And that's why I feel like his conversation, even though it came in before the marriage, I think half of it was before the marriage. And I think a part of it, if not all of it, was after the marriage when the mom told him, you need to go have an apology. And I think that was his way of apologizing to him by trying to, because he even said in his thing, hey, I didn't have a dad that really spent time with me. And I watched that scene very closely. You could tell Clay was still Clay was still feeling some type of way. And so I'm led to believe that conversation that he had with his dad when the dad was given that, winners do this and that people do that and all this stuff like that. That was after the mom told him, go apologize to your son. Granted, he still didn't really take accountability. Hey, I shouldn't have had you out there doing all this, that, and the third. But he was trying to say, in that moment, remember when I took you outside and did all the track stuff with you? I was trying to push you to a certain point. I went to a certain point and this happened and I didn't make it all the way I wanted to go through. So I started living vicariously through you. In turn of living vicariously through you, I've kind of damaged you. That point right there, Dad should have said, I am sorry for that. My mistakes, don't let them be your mistakes. But if this is the decision you really want to stand on in this moment, in this time, that you really feel like you're not ready, then do what you need to do to get yourself ready. Dad over here like, oh, well, I didn't have a daddy too. Yeah, okay, understood. You was there. Your daddy was there some kind of way. It didn't work out. Everybody need apologies. Go get therapy with your son. Clay, go get the therapy. AD, go get your therapy to learn how to protect yourself. I don't want you to stop healing people because that's what you were designed to do. But you also have to learn how to keep people at a certain distance in your healing journey. And you also have to learn how to pour into yourself when others can't. Because as you're pouring out to everybody else, there's not always somebody to pour into you, unfortunately. So you got to learn how to get that space for yourself, build them barriers and them walls for yourself so you can be good for the next person that comes along that's going to need you. Because they're going to continue to need you because that's just the nature of you. You got it from your mama. She probably got it from her mama or whatnot. And that's just what you're going to go into. You're blessed to do in this world. And when I looked on her page today, I was like, she's a mental health advocate. So that also tells me the type of person that she is. You're always going to be looking to help people. That's great. But you also have to have boundaries to keep yourself protected in that space. So I do wish them both the best of going to find their individual selves in therapy and love on themselves. Will they come back together? I hope they gave it time. I hope they gave it time before they do. I think they would. I personally think they got back together, but I also personally think that they needed to give this part of the relationship time to actually remain buried. When I say buried, I mean, you know what I mean, like unalived. They need this to completely be unalived And I think they actually probably will get back together. I know you're making faces, but
How do you come back from that? Like, that's like, it's like an ultimate betrayal. You left me at the altar, and she already felt like she wasn't enough. She may still get counseling, but like, I don't, how do you face that again?
The same way she was forgiving Matthew, the same way she was 2 steps away from agreeing with Matthew. If Matthew didn't break up with her, she would have stayed on and had a decision to make between Matthew and Clay. She's a forgiver. She's a healer. If you take accountability and you come to her in what she sees as honest and open, she'll take you back. She'll take you back. Won't be me, but AD is a wonderful woman in that she can forgive. I just don't have that, that growth in me.
had I don't know, I'm gonna put nobody's name, but Miller, had this one relationship when because it was, like I say, it was a good relationship. We split because it just wasn't going in the direction I wanted to go to. It wasn't no cheating, it wasn't no scandals, it wasn't no abuse, it wasn't no nothing. It was just, it wasn't growing in the direction I wanted to. It wasn't going to lead. It was the same thing, the timing on this, like marriage. And I wasn't trying to force the marriage or whatever and stuff like that, but it wasn't just going at a fast enough pace for me. Had that person within a reasonable amount of time had sat there and said, let's give it another go, I would have gave it another go. Unfortunately, time passed long enough for me to be like, you know what, I'm cool. Because I've actually found myself, I've actually realized that as much as I poured into you, you weren't capable of giving that back to me, and you're still not. It's not that you can't now, but you're still not. I've grown and you still haven't grown anywhere. So if there's growth, that's why I said I hope she gave that space to herself for her growth and his growth. If there is growth, I can see her taking them back, because there's nothing, they love each other. I'm sorry. I know everybody want to be like, oh, her face card, this, that, and stuff like that. Mama is pretty. Mama, if y'all go to her page, Mama is gorgeous. I don't care what the heck y'all want to say. And it might not be his particular preference, but I can't say that either, because I don't know what he's dated in his past. I don't know what his past girlfriends look like. He could just be a physical. I know some guys that's not big on faces. So he could be one of those guys that's like body, and the face is not what they looking at or whatever. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, they actually did form love for each other. And yeah, I'm not going to listen to anybody say that man didn't love her because he loved her enough to let her go. If he didn't love her, he would have dragged her through the thing. He could have loved her a little bit better and probably let her go sooner. But he loved her enough to say, I'm not about to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. That's the whole point of him keep screaming, my daddy cheated on my mama, and I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that on you. That impacted him. The way the mama carried that impacted him. He don't want to see that.
Well, I don't think that he had intentions of cheating. I just think that he felt like he was just on some levels of inadequacy. Because I didn't really get cheater vibes from him. He just felt like he was going to fall short. And that's how he equated it with his father's cheating. What I'm impressed about is how they at no point had a finance conversation.
They had to. We just didn't see it. They had to. Because for him to bring it up at the end, they had to.
Well, he brought it up because it didn't take place. I don't know her finances. I don't know it. Like that says that they didn't show it, so it's because it didn't take place.
I don't think it happened in depth. I don't think it happened in depth or whatever, because he did seem like he was very confused on her finances or whatever and stuff and where it's going. Listen, I know she's not a cheerleader no more, but she was a football cheerleader, which I do know get paid a little bit more than the basketball cheerleaders. I told
But
y'all,
she's
but
real
it's not
estate now.
she's real
She
estate
was
now.
identified as a real estate
I know
broker.
she, and that's what's on her actual IG page is a real estate thing or whatever. But like I said, like you said, they didn't have a lot of conversation. They might have been brought up, but they didn't go in depth like some other couples did.
Yeah, they didn't talk about anything.
Because he kept talking about his daddy cheating. He kept dropping every conversation. The poor boy.
I mean, they roughly said, "Okay, we'll live in your house," but some people are different. Some people don't care about those things. Like, I'm going to talk about that all day. I want to know what your credit score is. I want to know what your financial history is. I want to know what your obligations are. I want to know these things. I want to know what your assets is, your liabilities. I want to know these things. On the other hand, my partner, that ain't even a conversation. We're like, let's talk about something else. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm number driven. Like, y'all made a comment about who was it, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
About he concerned about finances because of his background. He's an account executive, right? Those are things that people do. Those are things that people care about. So they're going to talk about it. Like, I'm not having children until I'm financially ready. I'm not doing this and this and this because these are, I choose to live a certain way. I choose to have a certain standard of living, and I want to be able to provide that for my child. Thus, I'm going to take into consideration my financial abilities. Some people just like, I'm living for today, tomorrow, what happens, happens. I don't need a plan. I'm not like that.
So to your point, the problem with that whole thing is, Clay, because you're the one screaming, this is important to you. Why didn't you have that conversation? Because just like that's important to you, my truth, you say you're going to talk about it. You're going to figure out ways to bring it up. And maybe that was the case. Maybe he's talking about it and she's not giving him a good enough answer that he's looking for. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Or he's looking for her to have her financial plan in order and she don't. She's just like, oh yeah, things are good. Real estate is good. And we know that they struggled earlier of her finding a job, that she moved there or whatever and all this stuff. So, but that's where we're going to have to hold him on top of it. Because, bro, if it was so important to you, you should have been having that talk 24/7 until you felt comfortable. Till you felt comfortable.
Remember, at the time of the show, she was the manager of a VIP section at a local club as well. So maybe she was doing that to supplement her income. I don't know, but it seemed like it was just done at the very end. I'm sorry.
She also seemed like she just moved there. So her and her real estate might take a process, because I know it's state to state. You got to get licenses, I believe, from different states to be able to work there. I don't know how it worked. So
did she move there for him, or was she moving there?
No,
or
it seemed like she moved there already or whatnot.
Okay. I was like, shit.
Yeah. But I don't know where her license is at. That's the thing. So she might have real estate license in Boston, and that's where some of her work is. And then part-time, she's in North Carolina. So it's a lot. Go ahead, Seaway.
No, I'm just saying. I got it.
Some people are not comfortable talking about numbers. Like, some people, that gives them goosebumps. They'll rather talk about S3X before they talk about numbers.
Then you're not the person for me, because we got to talk about numbers. If you might not be comfortable about it because you don't maybe understand it too much, or you can't explain it. Now, there are people who can't explain the numbers, but we're going to talk about it if we're going to commingle.
But why we commingling? You ain't got to commingle to get married.
I'm
Child,
sorry.
we on the show.
We
on the show.
commingling, I mean married.
Can we just start there? We don't have to commingle to get married.
Let's
So what
define
we
commingle
doing?
for
What we doing,
Seaway.
Seaway? What we doing, Seaway? So what we doing in Seaway?
Not commingling?
Then what we doing?
I've been married since 2021. I ain't commingle nothing. Hold on.
I understand not commingling the finances, but I meant not the finances commingling. We are commingling.
Y'all gotta let her go. It's the drink kicking in, okay? Because she talking from marriage point of view as well. Like, what? This is before the marriage.
I'm saying y'all may or may not have a joint account, but you
Right.
guys expense things together.
That part is true because some of y'all, there's only a certain amount of stuff you can keep yourself from. The debts and whatever you spend is still going to be kind of commingled. So
You still off mute,
y'all
so we
right.
don't know if you done. You still off mute, so we didn't know if you was done or not. Like,
I'm done. So I'm pulling the car up. I'm almost done.
because you not off mute, so we not sure. We thought you was gonna say something else.
No, I'm just saying there is a certain level of protection you can have, but at the end of the day, if you're married, there's a certain baseline commingling that you're gonna have.
So she retracts her previous statement.
To a degree. To a degree.
But you want to know the sad part? Like that's what I believe. There's a certain level of commingling, but I check Seaway's box. Like
I just feel like
I don't
there's some
commingle.
women who like as soon as they get married, they try to pop out a kid, they try to get joint bank accounts, they try to do all this. There's levels to this. Now maybe I'm just a different type of breed, but my name ain't changed yet. I ain't had a kid yet, and my bank accounts are still in my name. I just feel like there's levels to this. You gotta ease these dudes into a situation. Ease them in.
So
See,
Ease
wait,
anyway,
them
since
in.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a joint bank account. If you get in a relationship and you guys are doing things together, I think you should. Just like somebody said, you should have relationship insurance. Everybody puts $250 in the account a month, and in the event somebody cheats, they walk away with that pot. The
Listen,
person that got cheated on
I
walks
don't
with
mind
that
the
pot.
joint account, but I also agree that you don't give up your full account either. Y'all can have a joint
Your
account, but
income
you
need to
need your
go to
own.
your account. You
Yeah,
know
you
what
have a
I like?
percentage.
You know what I like? Because I saw my parents do this for literally my whole life. Everybody has their own bills. My dad had his own bills. My mama had her own bills. Now I have my own bills and my husband has his own bills. I'm not saying you have to do it like that, but if everybody's working, now if you're not working, then
Elaborate. Break it down for me, though. Break it down for me. When you say everybody got their own bills, break it down for me.
okay. Now if you're not working, disregard what I'm saying because it's not gonna work. But if you're working, like let's say like your husband has the mortgage, this and that. Maybe you'll take the cable, your car note. He has his car note. You see what I'm saying? Like
You mean
everybody
everybody
got
has their own responsibilities, not their
everybody
own
got their
bills.
own bills. Like and now if you had kids in college, like one parent has that kid's tuition. The other person has that, you know what I mean? So you're not all pulling out of one account. Everybody like it's almost like you guys are a couple, but everybody has their own responsibilities.
So, that's why I say I check your box, right? I'm married. We have separate accounts. We do everything separate. We have our own things, and we do not have any financial ties. That don't say marriage to me. That don't say marriage to me. It doesn't. I mean, I do it not by choice, but I do it. But that does not say marriage to me. Do I think, like somebody mentioned in the comments, that joint accounts are not always favorable? And that is true. Like if you're with somebody who is not financially responsible, then yes, you don't need a joint account because you don't need them to drag you down. But at the same time, like you have like joint bills, like is one person gonna pay the mortgage and the other person just paid the light bill? So you're gonna pay, let's say you paying $3,000 a month, and I'm gonna pay $500 in utilities or something like that. Is that balanced? Because everybody got their own bills, or
Yeah,
what?
I
How
like
do?
that. I like everybody having their own bills.
So you're not splitting things, or you're? I'm still confused on this have your own
it's
bills thing though.
basically split, but it's not split from an account. It's like we have decided these are all the responsibilities of our household. You
Hmm.
take care of those, I take care of these, and we talk about it, or we let each other know, or we just handle business.
And that's what I saw my parents do literally for the last 30-something years, so I know it works. So maybe that's the reason why I'm more comfortable with that. Because you don't got to deal with like the who's putting what into what account thing. Like everybody has their own account. Now that does not work if somebody decides to stay at home with the kids, you know, X, Y, and Z, then that's not gonna work. But if everybody's working, I just find that to be better. And then if something goes wrong, everybody has their own money. I don't
Right,
know.
because I'm reconciling the bank account, okay, and I reconcile down to the penny. And if anything ain't where it's supposed to be, it just relieves any kind of issue we may have. I was previously married for 13 years, and we had separate, and we had one joint for joint stuff. And then
Okay.
joint account started dwindling upon the reconciliation. So again, now I have to have a conversation, and now we've added a different dynamic that you didn't want to speak about or we didn't need to handle. But when we separated the accounts again, it was much better. So I'm under the Seaway guideline. My current marriage, second marriage, that's how we are. He
Well, when I
handles.
say joint accounts, it's funded solely for the purpose of what it's funded for.
I
So, like, you have
understand.
your own money, I have my money. Let's say that house is our house. That's going to be paid from our account. Like,
Right,
it's not going to be paid
right.
from one person's account. So that's saying, like, if it's $3,000 on the mortgage, then if I'm putting $1,500 in that account, you're paying $1,500 in that account to pay that $3,000. That's what I'm referencing. I'm not feeling like it should be one-sided, like, oh, well, these are your bills and these are my bills. Like,
So
these are
what?
our bills.
Right, it's our bills, but it's handled by an individual. You are assigned that account. But what happens
Okay,
when
I'm
you have
fine
a
with that.
spouse that is using the mortgage account for something that is not the mortgage?
That's another conversation.
That's the conversation, and that is what some folks, myself included, have come across. It's much
Okay.
easier because all of a sudden you decided you needed this gadget or you needed something, you were shortfall in your bills, and you decided to skim the mortgage account, and then you're going to put the money back in without even talking. And I'm a reconciler. I will be looking at that account every Wednesday to see the activity.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
again, sometimes it's easier. It's easier to keep it separate with some people. There are some people with discipline. There's some people like my husband now. He has discipline. I know I put anything in there, he won't touch it. But again, I'm not going there. What works for us right now is you handle that part, I handle this part, and we can grow together. Now we'll have a joint, we have some things joint for vacations and stuff like that, but other than that, everybody's assigned, you know, a bill, an invoice, whatever. Everybody's assigned.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that assignment. I'll take that. Because I don't play with my coins. Okay, I don't.
I'll say this much. If you're dealing with a person and y'all not having in-depth conversations to get to a concise on how you both want that money to flow in and out, coin by coin, bit by bit, all of that stuff, like literally have an in-depth conversation and y'all not agreeing on it, y'all shouldn't make a joint account at all. I mean, it's scary, like Elsa said, because now that joint account, if we decide that we're not going to make it, one of us has decided before the other and can easily get petty and start taking out that account real quick. Now, you might have to have that account set up like a trust. That money is only really going in, and there's only certain things that it can set up for it to come out. I don't know how it can work or whatever, stuff like that. You can shake your head and say, if people out here living off of one account, like seriously budgeting off of one person's paycheck while they save the other person's paycheck, they got to trust that. I God bless their heart for having that kind of trust with somebody. Okay. I ain't got to that level yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I aspire to get to that level. However, if you find that person that you can do that with, y'all need to be on the same page. And you can literally, I believe you could literally put it in some type of bonded writing or something that, hey, we both have to be here to get the money out of this account. We both have to do this or whatever. I don't know. But if they can give us a lockbox that we both have to show up with the key, they can figure out a way that we both have to agree on getting out some things out of account. Otherwise, you'd be looking like off Tyler Perry character off of The Family That Plays Together. When the wife went and took all the money up out the account, he was trying to figure out why he can't start his business. So I would say keep your finances until you really can trust that other person. If y'all having trouble, get into a space agreeing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm always going to keep my finances separate. I would say we gonna have ours. I'm maybe gonna slide 5% in there, and you gonna think that's something because I'm built like that.
Hey, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell your secrets. Don't tell your secrets. Don't tell your secrets.
JK.
And just to start off like slow or whatever, for me, when I was, dating, it would just be, we're saving towards a goal. We're saving towards a goal. That is a way for me to test and see, hey, can he put aside, $25 a month, $100 a month into an account and see if he can do that.
Yeah, because I think me and my husband, we started a joint account for like a down payment for a house. But like that's the only thing we have a joint account for. Everything else, everybody's responsible for their own crap. Everybody got their own stuff.
Yeah.
Grace said somebody's sleeping with one eye open.
That would be me, Grace. That would be me. Hey, listen, I keep my account like I treat it like an emergency fund. You may pay all these bills, but one day you might put me out. So therefore, I got to be prepared to be out. Okay. I don't care. I don't know what happens. And you might not put me out. Something tragically, God forbids, may happen to you. I got to just, whatever the case may be. If you have an account that I can't get into, that's going to be a problem. If we have an account that we both have to be there present to get into, that still can pose as a problem. It's just kind of best that we have separate accounts. When I hear you pay your own bills, that means you pay your car note. If you got car notes, you pay your car notes, you pay your insurance, you pay those things like that. House expenses, they get broken down however they're going to get broken down between the two of us. Because, I'm not sitting here going to be doing all the shopping, or you do all the shopping, or whatever the case may be. However you structured in your house, if you are with a man that can provide and pay all the bills, and that's what it is, or whatever, if y'all go 50-50, that's what your structure is. That's your house. That's something that you need to talk about with your partner in depth on a constant basis. Other than that, good luck, Godspeed, because it's your relationship. I can't tell you no more.
Different strokes for different folks.
You said best of luck.
What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. Everybody different. It is what it is.
Yeah, everybody's relationship gonna work on how you want it to work. But if you're not having these conversations, and that's why we looked at Johnny and Amy, because in the pod they were having these conversations. So for me, chances of them working out will be great and a lot higher, long as she don't get pregnant in this next year. To 5, look, the year to 5, okay? Because he want a 5-year window. So, which is not good on her body at that point now, Johnny, you're gonna have to give in a little bit. Give her about 2 years, okay? Then try to pop a baby up in there, because she pushing a good 30 right now. So we want a healthy baby as well. But
and Jay said everything don't need to be split down the middle, and you're right. They don't, because he needs to pay for everything. And that's that, you know what I'm saying? His money is my money, my money is my money. Ain't that the rule? As long as you understand.
Speak up, Sean. Speak up, Sean.
That is the rule. That is.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Sean. We lost you.
So in the event something takes place and you gotta go to jail and I gotta bail you out, I'm supposed to use.
You don't want to hear it.
We lost you, Sean. Sorry. No, Sean, go ahead. Say what you got to say, baby. Go say what you got to say.
Not y'all pat me on the head.
All right. You y'all want a traditional woman, but y'all don't want to be no traditional man. So you want somebody barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen,
Uh-oh.
working 40 hours a week, taking care of the kids, satisfying you, looking cute, this, that, and the third, while you do and split the bills with you? Yeah.
Hey, better than marriage. Give me power of attorney.
Just let me know when I can speak when y'all finish. When y'all finish y'all waiting to exhale routine. So,
Tell him, Shy. Go ahead.
Okay, shoot, Sean, shoot.
so
Where the hell are we?
you was my lover and my secretary. So working every day of the week, all my life I had to fight. So my point is, as a banker, you need to have a joint account with all the household expenses run through that account, so that whether who's putting in what, that's your business. Whether the man is doing it all 50, 70, 90, whatever the percentage is, you should have a line of sight into the household expenses, because I've seen way too many couples where if the man is doing it and then God forbid something happens to him, she's clueless. And then vice versa, there are relationships where the woman, takes hold of that and pays all the bills, whether it's with his money or hers. And then something happens to her, God forbid, and then he's clueless. So we need to have a full line of sight into the expenses. So I always recommend to anybody getting married or in a relationship where you guys are living together, you need a joint account for your household expenses. And then also a joint savings. Like most people do have that, but definitely I recommend a joint checking account where those household bills are running through there, so everybody knows what's happening and going in and out.
I recommend
Just put my
interest
name.
account.
Just put my name on his account, and it's considered joint. Okay.
I prefer joint interest. Whatever, Sean, let us know what is an interest account. Something that makes some money. Certain banks out there. You open a savings account, a bank account with them. They interest grow high. I want whatever interest grow high, and we can joint that account, because we're gonna both leave here with something.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. There's tons of options now with the prevalence of online banks. Those interest rates, especially as high as they are now, some banks are paying 3, 4, upwards of 5% in the upper times of the market. But again, I'm just saying the checking account needs to be there as a vehicle so that you can see where the money is going and who's being paid. If I'm gone the gas bill still needs to be paid. The mortgage still has to get paid. It could be my money, it could be money from my insurance, whatever is getting paid out to you to pay that bill. But if you don't know how much the gas bill is, if you don't know how the gas bill gets paid, you have no line of sight in that, then you're clueless. So nobody's trying to disrupt anybody's soft life, because I know that's that's soft life goes.
I have no idea how much the gas bill is.
Right. So you need to know what those things are, and when I was married, fortunately both of us, we were bankers. So whether I paid the gas bill, whether I paid Verizon, whether I paid Wi-Fi, whether I paid the insurance, because when you start getting together, things just get lumped together. Your health insurance, your life insurance, your auto insurance. But she knew where to go. God forbid I don't come home, life doesn't end. She still knows where to go and what goes where and how much things are. Because that's how you prevent financial abuse as well.
So this is
right. That's why I have access to everything.
This is directed to you.
Thank you for tuning into
so.
Financial Secrets with Sean.
Jay Say So says, Sean, I don't see the need for a joint account. You can be each other's beneficiary. You can know all that without a joint account. That's also what they said us. Also,
a beneficiary is only upon that person's death, and then you have to go get access to the account.
They gonna cuss you out here.
Yeah, these people in New York. But my point is, having the joint account allows you to see the account day to day and have access to what is in that particular account for the household expenses. Now, I'm not saying every account needs to be a joint account, but there should be a joint account where the things that take care of that house come through and flow through that account. And people should have those conversations about what's going here and how much this costs and what that is.
Well, I will say I just got nicked on a particular endeavor that I just tried to endeavor upon, which I won't say what it is, because my name because my name, for all these hating hoes who comment on Kojo channel talking about I'm lying, unfortunately I'm not lying. My name wasn't on the light bill, any of the bills. My name wasn't on any bill, and I actually needed my name on bills for a particular thing I was trying to do, and it really just effed me up.
Yeah.
So even if
So
your husband is paying, it may be a good idea, to Sean's point, if it's not a bank account, maybe trying to get your name on it. But because my name was not on any of these accounts that my husband was paying, I just got screwed over on a particular thing. So
Child,
just
they wouldn't even let
FYI.
me return a Spectrum item because my name was on the account. I'm returning the item, and they wouldn't even let me do it because my name wasn't on the account. So for real.
So, in translation, what Sean was saying is if this were an email, the initial payer would be the to line, and you would be on the CC line. So, you have visual of what's taking place. You're not actually actively participating in a
I
conversation,
love New
but
York.
you
This
have
is so aggressive.
eyes present. And with Seaway in
There's a car right
translation
there.
is saying that she tried to um, purchase an account. I don't know, but she needed proof of residency or proof of something, and she didn't have that proof because the alpha male had everything in his name, and that stopped her. But at the same time, I would like to believe if your name was on the house note or the mortgage or the house, that it should have been okay.
Unfortunately, sometimes it's not. So I mean, learn from me. Sometimes even if your man is paying for everything, put your name on that account, because when you actually have a man that's really taking the burden off of your
What
back
is
that you
that
never
like? Tell me what
experienced
that's like.
before. I mean, it was something that I never experienced before until recently, right? And so once I finally experienced it's a whole new world to be able to relax and not worry about things. I never thought that would come and bite me in the butt, because I was used to taking care of everything. So I don't know. I'm just saying, since we on
So
here,
there's a catch-22 to it too, though. So it depends on what bills we're talking about. We have our name on because, again, if you have somebody, bless your heart, look, Mark has been doing his thing, been taking care of it, so you can put your name on his thing now because for sure that's what he gonna do. But if y'all both walking into this together and you start putting the names on some stuff, and all of a sudden this fool stop paying because he doing God knows what with the money or whatever. Now both y'all got negative reports on your credit thanks to
well,
this.
right? You gotta know who you. If you don't trust them to pay the bills, don't put your name on that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like in certain situations, I think after some time, especially if you're dealing with a man who's paying for everything, after some time, then maybe you find a bill or two that you may need to put it on or whatever that you can take care of in case he don't pay when he come in. And that's what you might want to do, but you got to still be careful because people will oh well, that person name on it too, so oh well, they'll figure it out when we both figure it out.
I just
But
think
I
that
think
Sean's
that
point. Yeah,
I think the other part of that, and I mean, I think we gotta enter into relationships with good faith. And if we're living with somebody, then hopefully we've done enough to do that we can trust that person to pay the electric bill. You know what I mean? And if it's in your name, that's also a responsibility for you to see that bill. And I think just because you're paying it doesn't mean you shouldn't know what the bill is. You shouldn't have some line of sight into, okay, our budget is X, because unless you are running around here, in the $1 million bracket, things are expensive. So, whether it's the gas bill, the electric bill, whatever that is, we should know what that bill is. And if it's in your name, you're going to see that bill come in each month. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, this was it here. And then you'll see the next month. You'll see when it's getting paid. Because I don't think just because you're not paying it, you shouldn't know that what's happening and just be in la la land.
And I see that El Cid made the comment, and I agree, and that's what I do. But I put a buffer. I don't just pay my bill as what it is. I pay my bill a little bit extra, and I have like a credit on my bill. So at any point, if I did not pay it or something, I would be okay because I have built up enough buffer and a little space to have that thing. So I agree,
But
Miss.
yeah, but to Sean's point, you have to trust your partner and be in that space so you can be in la la land. And because you have those conversations and you can see things and trust your partner, then you can't afford to be in la la land. I mean, for us, I handle the finances for both of us. But at any point, he can pull up and pull a bill and look at it and see what's going on. But there has to be a level of trust there that your partner is going to handle business. And there will be signs, even in dating.
I think that
Yeah,
even
you,
in
you
my
trust people
example,
as far as you
sometimes
can throw them. You got to trust people to. I trust that you ain't gonna pay this bill, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that and be responsible for it. You got to trust people in the space that you know them for. So it's not like everybody should trust their partner. I trust that you are incapable of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that
yeah,
on my
and
radar.
even in best case scenario, how we talk about like how housewives should have their own money because it's not just about a man leaving you. What if he dies, right? Like even my situation, my husband didn't violate my trust. I got screwed over just by the fact that me being in La La Land was not beneficial for me. So sometimes it's not even about your partner doing something wrong. It's about the fact that society doesn't always benefit women being in La La Land. So I'm all about the soft life. I'm just giving the antidote that, I ain't saying split bills. I ain't even saying do what Sean say. I'm just saying, make sure your name is on the counter too. So you don't be looking like boo-boo like I was this week. That's all I'm saying. So FYI.
Well, else said, and they said, isn't La La Land beautiful?
Ask my husband. He the one in la la land. I'm not. I'm the one. I'm the one at the table. I'm the one at the computer paying the bills
My guy over there talking about some.
out of his account. Right. So he's in la la land, and I will be, hey honey, okay, because of the rate change, the light bill has gone up, so it's going to be more at the account. And he's like, why are you bothering me with this?
He said, I got it. Spend it. Let's go.
Why are you bothering me with this? And meanwhile, there are other things that he's like, he want to talk about it. I'm like, wait a minute, we're not discussing other things. But that comes with a level of trust. But again, we're going on 7 years. It's going on years of knowing how I handle things, how I handle that part of the household. And because I'm the finance person, that's the part of the household that I manage.
So on that joint account, you may not need to be a joint account. You should just know the PIN number.
I know it all. I know it all. Even the key to the lockbox, the key to whatever.
Hey, friend.
Girl.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he doesn't want to know. He doesn't want my PIN. I'll be like, it's for me. What's good for me is good for you too. We've been in this game for a while. You can know all of this too. The only thing we have the same is we have the same password for our phones.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get on that because I do remember.
No, that's a whole no. This is a love and blind. We got about to go down this route today. We can do that another day, okay? Because this is Love is Blind. I don't want to have to chop and screw this whole thing up.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Clay,
why you have to say
AD and Clay
for your phone?
there was a conversation, you guys may have overlooked it, where they talked about accessing each other's phone. They did say something about that. Just bear with me here, okay? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that was legit for them to share passcodes or to be going through each other's phone? Do you think that may have inflicted Clay's decision to walk away from the altar? Yeah.
One, I don't recall that part. Two, it depends on what the reasons we going through each other's phone. Because if it's to find things, no, I don't think we should be going through each other's phone because there should still be some level of trust and respect of people's privacy to a degree. However, if they're in an open space where they feel like they have nothing to hide and this is their way of bonding to show that they have nothing to hide with each other, then all for it, But in their case, I'm gonna assume that there was no infidelity, no doing of wrong, being crossed or whatever, and they just bonding or forming a thing of trust for whatever reason. I let it be, but If this is because somebody was cheating or somebody done did something in the past that the other person is not agree with, I think that's the worst way to start trying to fix that situation.
Correction, it wasn't AD and it was Chelsea and Jimmy. That those.
Oh,
were
well,
the
then
ones.
hell to the no, because that lady just looking for some damn things to figure out why she gonna sit there and play victim with you later on. No. And
I don't care, because whether you have the passcode or not, anything, you ain't gonna find it. You have the passcode. You can go through. You can have the phone. Matter of fact,
it's them files, baby.
it's them vaults.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know where to look, and there may be a hidden vault, just like you have hidden columns in an Excel spreadsheet. You got to be able to know where to go to find access. So I'm sorry.
Right.
You can have it. You can have the passcode. You can have the whole phone.
So I don't have any issues
I have
with
a question.
passcodes, with sharing passwords or anything of that nature. It's the reason for the use is my concern. Go ahead, Sean.
So since y'all got all these accounts and separate stash and all this other, hidden activity, rainy day fund, mad day fund, if I act up and you decide you hate me fund, am I the beneficiary on this fund or what? What's going on? Because what if something happened to you? What all goes
absolutely
on?
not.
Everything is going to my cats.
Absolutely not.
Hell to the no, to the no. I ain't starting up with none of y'all.
Sean,
This
I'm
is
a little
raw deal, literally.
Sean, I'm a little more level-headed. You can get 25%, but I have 2 kids, which will get the rest of it.
No,
Okay?
that's yeah.
If I'm your husband, I'm your next of kin. Bump these kids.
Not to bump these kids. The hell?
The kids I had in the first marriage.
Who's gonna be the one? Who's gonna be the one to take care of the kids?
The oldest
kids I
son.
had.
Me.
The oldest son.
No,
Get the hell
kids-
out of here.
The kids
No.
I had in the first marriage. How about that, Sean?
If something happens to him, it all goes to you.
I have an adult child. That adult child can handle. I said 25%. Everybody said 0.
25%.
No,
Everybody said 0.
No, I technically
That's
didn't say
not-
0. I said it's going to the cats. Now, there's got to be somebody taking care of the cats, so there's a percentage in there for you to take care of my babies, okay? But I'm with Del Cid. It's percentage is going to. I will put you as a beneficiary, but it's going to be split down to percentages. Right now, how I have some of my things set up, my sisters get and my daughter get. But when they come in, my sister's gonna get bumped up. My daughter ain't gonna get sorry, sis, you're gonna get bumped off.
Even if let's say you decide to get married,
Wait.
that
What
percentage
happened?
is not gonna change.
Wait, Sean, hold your thought. Go ahead and run that back.
Right now, you're on beneficiary status on my stuff right now. You, Tash, and a Bear. But if I get married, I might have to bump y'all off and put my husband on there.
If you like your husband.
Okay, I'll rock with that.
I'm done with y'all. I can't even entertain this anymore.
Sean, but the same thing applies for the husband. My husband came in with an adult son, so I understand that there are things that he has built before this marriage that his adult son will be beneficiary before me. I understand.
No, why?
Because one, those were assets he attained before me.
See, I
way
hear people
before
say that, and I don't give 2 shits.
I understand, and neither does his son. His son doesn't give 2 either. He's like, peace, whatever. I don't want nothing. I was like, okay.
What's the problem with this then? So I got a policy, and I got one policy that's set up for my kid, and then I got another policy that's set up for my kid and my spouse. Is that a problem?
Why? Wait, why you got kids and then you got kid and spouse?
Because I need to make sure my baby is double to take care of. My man can take care of himself. He been taking care of me and him. So he can take care of himself. He good. You know what I'm saying? Sure. My little chump change ain't gonna be nothing but a down payment for another car. So there's that.
I want everything. I'm just telling you straight up, everything to come to me, and I will decipher at that point and take care of everybody else.
Nah, baby, you ain't okay. If we was married and my child is outside of us,
So you married me, and you don't think I have enough? You don't think that I'm enough of a person to take care of your child in the event of your demise?
I do not. I would not put your stuff into my child's name either. Y'all have to have your own thing. I marry you. You have to have your own percentage of the beneficiary. They have to have their own percentage. I'm not leaving neither one of y'all up to debate on who's gonna do what.
Okay,
you know we all worked at the law firm with mom. Going through that law firm and watching them families fight because they ain't got the stuff set up and just let it divide evenly. I'm not about to put y'all through that. I'm already gone. So why am I have to have y'all go through all of that? Just take your little bit, y'all go y'all separate ways. Do what y'all want. If y'all want to bring it together, if the other person want to get,
we're talking about adult children,
huh?
We're talking about.
You think adult children know how to behave?
Well, I mean, you got to be talking about adult children, because if you're leaving something to the minor child, now I'm just saying, you're leaving something to the minor child, whoever is the guardian of that minor child, which clearly is not
gonna get it, yeah,
is going to take care of that minor child. Because if you left the minor child something and then you left me something separately, then you clearly separated the two of us, and that minor child needs to do their own thing, and I clearly will do my own, because that's the way it was laid out, right?
Well, I got an adult child, and I ain't about to have no minor children, so I got to only speak in that space right there, okay? Because that's what it is. Like, if I gone and you still have a child, and we have a child together, of course, this stuff is being left to you, because now you're the guardian of the child, the sole guardian of the child, or whatever. Sense. But in the case of I walking into a relationship with my own child, I'm the sole parent. As far as I'm concerned, regardless what her daddy got going on and stuff, we're no longer together. I'm the sole parent. I got to make sure that solely she is good. I expect you to do the same thing. If you have children with your children. Now, if I want to go and make a separate policy for you to be included on that, then I will go and do that. But other than that, I'm going to take care of my child because I brought that person into the world. Your mama can take care of you because she brought you in. Okay, that's her responsibility. Now, if I want to add you, that's an added bonus for you.
The men, we just down bad. We are down bad in these streets, boy.
What do you mean down bad, Sean? You know, you could sign up for it or not, but the clear thing is you have to have a conversation.
Yeah, but these conversations don't sound encouraging. It sounds very
But that's why you're not married to myself.
And just be with me and Abby and my cat.
That's why you're not married to myself or to my truths. That's why, because it does not align. The way to handle finances does not align.
Well, we was almost fine until we got down to the beneficiaries, and I started to see the real.
Yet I'm the only one giving you even a slice of the pie, 25%.
I know.
Take it or leave it.
I know this whole conversation is just stressful.
Again, I know she ain't talking about 25% when I sat here and told you that you can get one on your own. I will go get you one on your own, okay? I would definitely put beneficiary
for $5. For $5.
Hey.
All right, okay. You know, so I mean, I go both. I feel like I can be a very selfish person, but I feel at the same time I can be very reasonable given a conversation. Like if you sit there and you talk to me, then I can easily come back to reality if I went somewhere else. And I said that to say, okay, your adult children, you want to leave them something. That's a beautiful thing. Do you have to leave me something? No, you don't. I mean, you don't have to leave me anything at all. Because I'm sure your adult child's going to bury you and take care of
that's what's going to happen. That's pretty much what's. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you like this. Had Bear still been in an age where her father will be responsible if something was to happen to me, I would actually put him as beneficiary. Because I would be under the hope and guys that I would trust him enough to make sure, to know, not to make sure, but to know that he would take care of her at the end of the day. Because that's the relationship that we have built together, that I know that I can actually trust that he will actually take care of his daughter. So there's that.
So for me, I have a minor child, I have an adult child, and I have a spouse. In the event of my demise, I am leaving my mother as my beneficiary. Why? Why, Elsie? Why is my mama my beneficiary and I have these 3 situations taking place?
You know why, and I'm gonna just say dark arts because people aren't, that's for the members live to know why your mama is your beneficiary.
I don't know why she's trying to bring her own situations into a Love is Blind.
Well, because for those who don't know, I actually experienced my own version of Love is Blind.
Oh,
For
okay.
me,
We're gonna
my
have
whole
you want to come back on it? You want to talk about it?
do they really want to know my
Oh,
whole dynamics?
they'll let me know. They'll let me know in the chat that if you really want to know your dynamics. So far, I'm pretty sure they in tune with some of it from the questions that you've been asking already. So we can definitely have a whole
Oh,
live.
I can tell you without even looking at the chat, Jay. They nosy as hell. They all want to know. Now, do
Listen,
you
I done
want
got
them
some yeses
to know?
already.
It's the best question.
So
You know it.
whenever you ready,
Do you
sis,
want
we can
them to want
arrange.
to know?
Exactly. Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready, sis, we
You
can
know, but
arrange
don't
for you to
it,
tell your
it doesn't
your
even
story.
Sean, you met my husband.
I did.
He don't want to
Yeah.
In
confirm or
Jamaica.
deny. Look, he don't want to confirm or deny.
I said I met him in Jamaica. That's
I
my
know.
twin. Where have you
Where have
been?
you been? He only
That's my
your
twin right there.
twin in the
My
bald
little
head,
ruckus.
Sean. That's it. He only your twin in the bald head expect. That's it,
it.
child.
And slight complexion. We in the same family.
Right.
So Sean, you could be happy in La La Land how he is.
No, I think there's some differences, and that's what Jay's talking about. But he's, we met. He's a decent guy.
He's a guy. Thanks, Sean. I'm gonna go dark for a little second. I'm having a moment.
We'll bring her back so she can explain her stories, child, because it's her stories. This is a Love is Blind right now. We're gonna keep it as much as to this. We already segue into a lot.
Well,
because we're having a conversation.
Jay is getting I was gonna say while she is composing herself for what might be, an interesting story, what I was gonna say is, and that's one of the reasons when I knew it was time for me to get divorced. When my stepdaughter, who I think was like 18 or 19 at the time, we were in our house that we owned. And she looked at me and she was like, so if something happens to you, this house goes to me, right? It's me and mom, right? And I said, She said, well, who else is going to be your beneficiary? I said, okay.
Abby?
Noted.
Abby is my beneficiary.
Yeah, I have a younger sister, and she kind of did the same thing. I have 2 children and a husband, and my sister wants me to leave everything to her.
I just want to say 3 children because she is now one of yours.
Yes, she is a version of my child. She was born in 1990. That gives you no context for my age, but that is my child, clearly.
Ever since she put your name on her loan or her grant applications, her financial aid, that's your fault. You've been a parent since.
My truths for Sean and I, who are only children, we don't have that sibling ripple.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix that too. I told her that she better be gone by December. I said, come Christmas, you better not be in my house. I told her that. She's working right now, and she is going out of town and asked me could she not pay rent while she's gone.
Will the eviction notice be on the door by the time she gets back?
Girl, everything's gonna be packed outside.
Okay, Jeremy.
For real, that's Jeremy. Have the stuff packed in a box, ready to go. Remember Miller? And Jeremy, Laura, it's already packed. Don't worry about it. Got your stuff.
Oh, that was the worst. I think the bags pack was worse to me than the jet skis. Because touching my stuff when we not in a good place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He never said he packed it. He never said he packed it.
That's even worse, Elsa. That's worse. You had somebody
the
else
movers.
touch my stuff.
Yeah, the movers come pack it.
Yeah, don't.
You
I
was
don't
on
like.
mute.
Don't have nobody touching my
Sean,
stuff.
somebody put you out?
Never.
Drop a
It's
pin,
the
Sean.
show.
Drop a pin. Somebody put you out?
No. I do the putting out. Don't nobody put me out.
No, I do the puttings out.
I put out every now and then if it's good for my health.
I put out every now and then.
Pause. I could be kind of a pausable moment. So.
Lord, this conversation has took so many turns. Okay, Clay and AD. Does anybody have any more thoughts on them? El said you still want to stay on that off road, huh? Hold up. Go ahead, Sean.
No, Jay, I just appreciate you. While I was, making sure Seaway didn't get us put out of Dallas BBQ, I didn't get to say everything. But, I appreciate you for holding it down and not like completely making this man demonic. And I'm not saying he's perfect. He's got lots of work to do. However, he did the right thing, and that was to set her free. And I think that thing you can do as a man is realize your limitations. And I think the worst thing that a man can do is over project what he thinks he can do, and that's how so many of us get into problems, and the bad reputation is out there. So I think he knew his limitations, he knew what he was able to do, and he was honest with her. So I respected him for that.
I'll say you was about to say something.
One thing that I know is because of the heat of the moment, I think that AD could not hear Clay clearly, and I understand why she couldn't hear him. He says, I'm not rejecting you. I have got to go. I can't say yes. I cannot be the husband that you want and need. I'm not rejecting you. I'm admitting I'm not at a level that is good for you. But she is feeling it as a rejection. She is feeling it as you have told me no at the altar. And I think for me, that was the most hard-hitting part of it, is that yes, but she is so hurt in a moment she cannot hear him right now. He is professing, I am not the man, that where I am now is not where I need to be standing before you to say I do. But she couldn't hear him.
She couldn't hear him, and on top of it, she's a healer and probably an empath, meaning that she's going to absorb his energy, and his energy of saying, I'm not good enough for you. She's translating that back into herself. And she's combining that with, because she made the statement, I've given so much to these men. So this is not the first time that this has happened. And that's why it's hurting so much. It's hurting so much because, damn, like she said, when is it my time? I've been pouring into all these people all this time, and I'm never good enough for none of these people. And it's like, no, sometimes you're actually too much for these people. And they know that you're too much, and you're too much in a good way, that they sit there and say, you know what, all I'm going to do is ruin you further if I go down this path with you. I've literally had somebody tell me something to that degree or whatever. They said it in a way at the time is like, you're wifey material. And trust me, I was an AD for that person at the time. It's like, I just see you, I want you, I like you, whatever the case may be. But when I look back on it, they did me a solid by saying that, because they knew that they would not treat me the way I deserved, wanted, or needed. And so it hurts to hear somebody say that to you, because it does make you feel like you're not good enough. But a lot of times, you, like you said, El said, you got to actually hear what that person is saying. They're saying they're not good enough for you. And coming from an 80 space, you always want to be like, oh no, you actually are. You actually are. And it's like, no, sis, you got to be real with yourself. Is you settling? Or is you accepting what is close to your 80%? He's telling you you're going to settle because he's not able to give you the 80. He wants the whole 100 to make sure he can give you the 80. He's not even close to the 50.
So I got to counter that, because as though that statement is true, and she is probably a good person, she was not good for him because he essentially didn't want her as she was. And I said that to say that, like, she's a good person, she's caring, she's that nurturer, but as many said, like, she didn't check that box, she didn't have that face card. So as much as a good person is, that was something that was too strong for him to overlook.
Y'all like to sit here and I'm tired of y'all trying to bring down that girl face card and stuff like that. I don't think that's it. It's other things.
No. I'm not saying she's an ugly girl by far. That's not what I'm saying.
It could be
I'm
just as simple as the fact that
sometimes some men don't like women getting the attention that they get, and she gets attention and she likes it. We got a cousin right now, Miller, that sat there and was like, I sat there before, I was like, why don't you let your girl do modeling and photo shoots? Oh, no, I don't need the world looking at my lady, this, that, and the third. Like, some people got these insecurities in certain different ways and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to sit here and say the case. I'm not going to project my thoughts onto him, because I don't know if that's the case for him. Just because he doesn't say it the way we want him to say it, that, oh, your face is so beautiful, this, that, and the third. She was comfortable enough to be without makeup around this man plenty of times. They both have matching glasses and all this type of stuff. Like,
he actually did say she was attractive that one time. They was on a cam. They both had their glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I hope she liked me like that. And he was like, yeah, you're beautiful the way you are. He did allude to her being a beautiful individual.
She says it that she feels comfortable.
I think sometimes,
Sean.
Sometimes, and I get it, everybody has their intuition. I know women have their intuition, and y'all be knowing and da-da-da-da-da. But I think sometimes we just need to stop and just give people the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, Jay, take what he said. He said enough. Why do we have to add it's her face card and it's her this, and if she was light skinned and if she looked like this, and why not take what he said until we know otherwise? If we get other information, then okay, we have that information, but we don't just always have to go so far. Like, it's because she wasn't blah, 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 blah. No, how about it wasn't about her, is exactly what he said. We saw this guy bleeding his trauma all over the screen about the trauma that he had with his dad. Do you know how traumatic that is for a child to see the one parent do something that they know is bad to the other parent, and them
but
have
we
to
also
rationalize
saw him
that?
bleeding about looks. So we know that's an important factor as well.
Right, he is a superficial person, and so is AD. They're both superficial. They're in the same bandwidth. She puts her booty and claps her cheeks for anybody that watches.
And we also heard him sit there and explain to his friends how, yes, y'all know how superficial I am, but she actually made me reach out and look for more than just that. There's an interview with her stating that, you know, she fought hard not to tell him anything about him. It's like, he gonna see me, he gonna like me. I'm not worried about that part. I might not be his specific color, but I don't think it's that either, because like, he was like, oh, you're chocolate. She was the one who actually said it first or whatnot. Is just like everybody likes to keep saying that she's just in awe with just his looks and his looks like that and stuff. It's just, all that part is not what they keep saying. There's other things that's working that's more than the face card and all that. Him saying that beauty and looks and all this stuff fades, that just means what is very true. When somebody actually wants to look at marrying you, they actually think this. They might not say it out loud, but they're actually thinking, one day, am I still going to love this person even though she don't have all the beauty and all that stuff? This man never said, yeah, nah, I don't like her personality and all this. He said, we are a lot alike. We got a lot of things in common. We match up in a lot of different ways. And she basically said the same thing in her confessional, how they almost fit perfectly like a glove. They're doing like almost the same work. Technically, they have the same traumas. They do have a lot that's in common, and the looks is not the most important thing of it all or whatever, because that is something that is tangible, that is going to fade over time or change, depending on which way you want to go. If you want to go through the surgery route or whatever the case is. Realistically, he was being a realist in the moment. Do I like her past her body? Do I like her past her face? Do I like her past all these other things? Yes, I do. Do I like her enough to actually be married to her? No, because I'm not going to treat her right. Am I in love with her? No. And that might be a flaw that he needs to work on, because you might not fall in love with that person prior to marriage. It may never happen prior to marriage. You will hope it does at least once, but that's also fleeting. Being in love is not a lasting feeling. So I don't know what y'all want from this girl. Like, if y'all go to her IG page, y'all gonna stop with all that. And to me, I think she does look better without the makeup.
She looks great on that IG page. You know, I shared the picture. I know you mentioned it earlier. She looks great. She looks thriving. I just want her to stay focused on her. And I think, you know, we spent a lot of time focusing on Clay, and rightfully so, for some of the things that he spoke about, a lot of the things he spoke about. But listen, you can't get somebody in jail. We be going back and forth, and you know, we play around with the Risa Tisa, but it's the same thing. Like, she couldn't be scammed if she wasn't willing to buy the scam. And that's the same thing for AD. She has her own trauma, and she's not some perfect princess that's, you know, Clay just beat over her head and dragged her through the Love is Blind process. No, she has stuff that she has to work on, like we all do. And he didn't just manipulate her. This woman clearly told him when he was trying to say, hey, can we slow it down? Why do we have to get to the altar? She says, no, I'll take the no at the altar. So you got to be careful what you ask for. He took her to the altar and he said no, like she asked him to do. Now, hopefully she sticks to her word and don't go spinning the block, because then that's going to cause some real havoc.
But like you said earlier, Jay, she said she keeps doing so much for these men. But the next line after that, she says that she carries the relationship. That together was impactful for me, because I'm like, she is carrying so much for the relationship. It is like her learned behavior. It's like at some point, he's got to carry it. You have got to let the burdens down and let the man with his wide shoulders and strong muscles, let him carry.
Great point. It said, and that's probably what he's feeling too. It's like, I'm not carrying my own weight. I'm not being the man you need. You need somebody to lift the burden off for you and give you the soft life. If you go to her page, again, I'm gonna suggest go to her page, because she even got that written in her bio, soft life. She fully all about having a soft life. He is not willing to give her that. I'm gonna say willing. He's not willing to give her that in the current state that he is in. Y'all would want to chalk it up just to her looks and all this stuff like that. There's something about Clay that is stopping him for saying yes to AD. It's nothing about AD. She just might not be the person that he wants. That is true. But there's nothing about her that is stopping him from saying the yes, except for that she may be doing too much. It might be too much pressure going forward or whatever and stuff like that coming from her end on when and how it should be done. For a person in the Clay's thing, and I'm coming from a person that's seen things in their childhood, probably a little too early to understand, you'll be a little hesitant on getting married, because you really be like, dang, does commitment exist? And until you get those people around you that have gone through it and do it. And that's why I said the last live or the live before, he needs to surround himself by positive married people. Not the best. They might not be the best of couples or anything like that, but they've gone through stuff and they know how to guide you through some of the stuff that you're going to go through. You need those people in your corner. He needs to find those people. None of his friends give me that right now. I don't think any of them is married. I'm not gonna lie. Josh, his one friend though gave a great speech. That speech right there should have sold him almost to getting married or whatever. That dude sat there, talked about how he related it in sports terms, talk about how you a partner when you get out there on the field. You do your job, they do their job. Y'all don't sit there and try to tear each other down when they are not doing it. You pick each other up. He gave a powerful speech on a union. But I'm sorry for Clay. He just don't. I'm gonna say it again. People that have not learned behavior, it's hard for them to see it for what it is. All they know is what they know. And until they grow into other spaces and start to realize there are healthy relationships out there, healthy marriages out there, healthy way to talk to each other and all this stuff, until you get around that class of people, until you get around that group, you're going to be skeptic about things coming forth. And you really need those people when you want that thing. And I just feel like he needs to surround himself around those people. He don't have to leave his old friend group, but he need to make new ones.
I just feel more about her feeling that she's not enough. That moved me as well, because she is way more than enough. You could see that AD is the type of person that the way they move, their light coming from them shines a spotlight on you, and shines a spotlight in like maybe the dark corners of what you have to work on. And they kind of show you like, hey, I'm not at her level. I'm not there yet. And that's probably what happened with him. But for such a successful, absolutely beautiful young lady to feel that with all of this, she's not good enough, for her to pull that out of her, I felt for her. We've all had those moments of not feeling good enough. But I feel with her work, she will realize her worth, because it's not the other person to make you feel worthy. It's you and what you have on the inside to have you feel like you're worthy.
That right there. And it's no lies told or whatnot. Is, and that's the thing too. You read it right there. He spoke about her grace. You said he spoke about her, like she made him, like he made her feel special. But the thing is, how did he make her feel special? What type of special was she looking for? Was she looking for the gratitude for saying, hey, you've made me want to be a better man and you made me do this? Because as a healer, sometimes that sounds like you're making me feel special. But the truth is, another healer came along, you'll be saying that same thing to him. I'm not really special. I'm just here because God put me in your life for some reason to help you. Some prayer that you've been asking for. That's what I'm here for. And that's what she has to realize sometimes, is that sometimes you're just placed in people's life, not because these people actually need you, per se need you, or should I say want you or whatever. It's because something about them has been praying for a change that you can provide for them. It sucks that the person you fall in love with is that person sometimes. And all you can do at the end of the day is, I did my best. I left you better than you were supposed to be or whatever and stuff like that. And trust God don't miss no favors. Your day will come. I don't want her to be bitter from this account and stuff. And I didn't like her sister's words at the end. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't like. That's why I very seldom share some of my incidents with my friends, because the first thing they want to do is see, that's him. He did this. He did that, and stuff like that. It's like, no. Let's rewind, because I was in this game too. So let's go over the tapes and see what I did wrong. You know me. You don't know this man. So help me figure out what it is I'm doing wrong. Because this is not the first time you done sat there and gave me this speech of how this man didn't see this, that, and the third. You, my sister. As my sister, tell me, what am I doing wrong? Like, hey, sis, you got to stop seeing so much of the good in the person that you ignore the truth of the person. Hey, sis, you got to stop just painting your nails red when you see red flags and actually act on them red flags. Hey, sis, you're a good person, but you don't need to be a good person to everybody. Sometimes we need to hear those truths from the people that know us best, instead of just scapegoating us with that person ain't this, that person ain't that, or whatever and stuff like that. And you also she got to surround herself by truth telling friends that really have her best interest at heart?
She made it to be a cheerleader on a national football team, a Super Bowl winning team. If anyone knows anything about cheerleading, it would take a ton of auditions for her to even be seen by the staff. That's a huge accomplishment out of hundreds and thousands of women. So I would question where in her life does she see her value and her worth. And right now it's in the healing and maybe in a relationship. But again, you got to stand on your own 2 feet, and you've got to, your light's got to shine from within. That's all. That hurt me a lot when she was going there. That really did hurt me a lot. But what I did agree with Jay, even though her sister was talking like that, she clearly said, I am not going to drag this man because I love this man. She's like, it doesn't serve a purpose. It would just be her speaking in her hurt, not going to serve a purpose. She still has love. Clay still has love for her. So when she was like, I'm not going to drag him. Y'all not going to get me dragging him. Now, maybe on the car ride home, I'm going to have something to say. But I am not going to drag him because I'm angry in this moment. And when I am through with this moment, then I will realize he did me a solid, not in the right venue, not in a preferred venue, but he did me a solid, not dragging me along with the cart that he's got to unpack with a therapist.
That moment showed a lot about her character. And that's why I say I'm not worried about AD. Her turn is gonna come. She's still young too. Her time is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful girl inside out. She just got to remember how beautiful she is, who she is, and why God favors her the way he does. She's going to be fine. Clay, brother, you better hurry up and get it together, or you just gonna miss out. Okay, I don't know if God will send you another. Yeah, sometimes he sends you your first ship, and you might get a raft the second time around. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck to you, my brother. Okay, but I appreciate you for seeing that you just couldn't board her ship at the time. You know what I'm saying? You was gonna sink it. You was gonna sink it, and that's what it is. So I think for this couple, it might not played out the way we all wanted it to, because some of us had some hopes for them. I know they had hopes for each other. It didn't go out the way we wanted it to, but I think it went out the best way it should have in the moment. And I'm not going to say they're not right for each other. It's just they're not right for each other right now. I don't know. Any final thoughts, anybody? I don't know if My Truth or Sean, y'all still there, because I know My Truth is probably on her way home from work. Sean, I don't know where you at.
I'm here.
You got any other thoughts?
I'm here and I'm
present.
safe.
Not I'm here myself.
So I would say I would have liked to see them work out. I think, like you mentioned, AD is a beautiful individual inside and out. She has her demons that she needs to face, but we all do. Same thing with Clay. I think he has some growing to do. He got some demons that he needs to face, but ultimately, I think in his core, he is a solid individual as well. And as far as they go, I don't think they should reunite. I think the time is just not, it's not going to coincide. And that's a big blow. I mean, like I said, I don't know how, right now I'm saying, I don't know if I would recover from that, but like in that moment, your feelings, your emotions, whatever you're going through may be different. So, I don't know how I would actually react, but as of right now, I'm saying I don't know how I would recover from a situation like that with that individual.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that, you know, I think sometimes we want people in our lives for an extended reason. And similar to what you shared, Jay, sometimes you come into somebody's life for a particular period in time, and the love isn't meant to last forever, you know? And it's unfortunate. And as much as we would like our forevers to be forevers, the people that we fall deep in love with, sometimes it's just not meant that way. And we just have to learn to be fortunate for the time that we had the people with. And that's one of the things that, helped me get through my divorce, because I was heartbroken and I couldn't imagine that it was not going to be forever. But I had to reconcile and realize that it just wasn't meant to be. And I think that's okay. And it's better to have a finality to it than to sit in a situation and be dragged through something that's really not meant to be forever.
I'll say this before Elsie gives her final word. In the words of you, Sean, like you like to say, there's a lesson learned in every relationship. I hope these two just look back at this and really walk away with some positives that they will learn from this relationship, some deal breakers going forth. And I hope they also learn what boundaries that they need to put up and to protect themselves, and which ones they may need to take down. There's always a lesson learned in every relationship. Anyways, we're on our last call here. We're on our last call for alcohol and any thoughtful juice that you think you can consume at this bar. Tips are also appreciated. Shout out to the two that tipped us out earlier today. Shout out to you two again, our two new members, Blondie Monique and Trey Mack. Okay. We moving up here, y'all. We're gonna have these member lives a little spicy. Obviously, me and my sister got stories. I'm pretty sure Elsie might have some too, but we don't know if she can share. But well, we're gonna get these member lives going, and we're gonna have some stories for you all. Because baby, I was just thinking, I was telling Elsie about one the other day. That's a story. Anyway, yes, you want Dasani? That's Coca-Cola. But I used to be on it back in the day. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be on the Dasani hard, but now that it's Coke, I'm just like, yeah. It's up there with Arrowhead for me now. Like, but it is what it is. Anyways, last call. Go ahead, Elsie. Give us a last call. It is our drink for the choice tonight.
Just find your happiness from within so then you can share it with another. But go into every relationship communicating and with your eyes wide open.
Or eyes wide shut, depending on what kind of freaky stuff you're into. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyways, thank you all for being here with us through this 3-hour live. I know we segue into some other things and all that, but I hope it was beneficial to you all, the discussion. It may help with some of y'all future endeavors, especially as finances is concerned. And do you share or not share with your partner? If you are watching this on the replay, please do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Join the membership. It is open to the public now, okay? And leave a comment below. Let us know how you thought about who was the MVP, who was player of the year. Oh, sorry, I meant to give Jimmy player of the game, okay? Jimmy got the player of the game award for it, all right? Top scorer of the night, all right? Moms gave the MVP. I'll let you give yours, Elsie. And Dad, I'm gonna give Clay's dad participation award. Okay, everybody gets one of those just for participating and stuff. He showed up for his son. Okay, hey, I don't know what more we could ask for him.
That's his job. That's bare minimum. Okay,
And that's why you get the participation award.
No. As Seaway said, I'm a woman of a particular age. We don't do participation.
Everybody gets that. Everybody got one.
There's no 6th place ribbon here. Sorry.
Everybody got one. It's a certificate. We don't buy trophies for the participant. I'm sorry, that's too much. That's too much money. Okay, we don't buy the trophy. You just get a certificate. Says congratulations, you played today. Y'all have a good night and be safe out there. Stay dry because it is raining out here and I don't know where it is out there with y'all, but please stay dry and always keep your glasses full. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow night, of course, for Ready to Love. Y'all know how we do. We like to have our quick cap before we hit the night on the Friday night streets. Okay, so y'all be back here tomorrow night for Ready to Love. And if y'all happen to run across Clay, AD, Jimmy, Chelsea, whoever else up in these streets, go ahead and send them to this video. They might need to hear some of this stuff themselves, okay? Love y'all. And before we leave y'all, I'm just going to tell y'all, me and LC stand on business all the time, so. Okay, because we said what we said and we meant that. All right. All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye.